If we take a look to the project page, you're gonna notice that we got some different endpoints that we're gonna interact with, like create a project, get a list of created projects, edit a project, pin a project on dashboard in order to see its analytics, and even see details of single projects. We're gonna get started with the get endpoint that is going to allow us to display a list of created projects within the table. And for that, guys, we're gonna get into our admin folder and create a project folder. And within the project folder, we're gonna create another folder, the component folder, where we are going to put in components related to the project page. First of all, we need to create the project page.view, and then within the project page, we're gonna put in first a boilerplate template, and then we're gonna pass in an H1. We're gonna say projects, and within the component folder, we're gonna create in another component. We're gonna say project table.view. And we're gonna go ahead and get into the router.ts in order to register this page. I'm gonna copy this, and right now I'm gonna pass here the project folder, and it's the project page.view. And for the path, we're gonna pass here projects, and for the roots, it is the name of the roots. It is going to be project 2. And let's get into the browser. And here, guys, you're going to see when we click on the menu projects, you can see we run the project page.view. And the second thing, we are going to create in the project folder another folder, actions. We are going to put in actions related to the project page, actions. And the first action that we're going to create, it is going to be get projects. And within the get project.ts, we are going to put in our tabs, the tabs of our endpoints. Now, if you try to see the shape of our endpoints, get projects, you're going to notice that right now all our endpoints are protected, and we're going to get into the API.php file and disable the security. Let's first disable the security of Laravel Sanctum and take a look to our endpoints, which kind of data we are getting back. And right now you can see we are getting an object and contains data object, and within the data object we got a data array. First of all, we need to copy this type. For that, we need to get into the get project.ts, and this is the type of this endpoint right here, project type. And we're gonna go ahead and get into the member folder, and within the member folder we're gonna copy content within the get member.ts. We're gonna copy that. Let me grab that and press it in the get project.ts, and I'm paste right here. And first of all, I need to change some things right here. We're gonna pass here project type, and we're gonna change the name of the composable to use get project like this. We need to import the ref function from Vue. I'm gonna import ref. We need also to import the make 8-period function, but also the show error response function. And then here we're gonna type our right here, we're gonna say project, we're gonna copy this and then try to modify. I'm gonna pass here, I'm gonna say project data, and then click on replace all. And for the type, I'm gonna pass here, for the type right now, it is get member type. I'm gonna pass here get project type like this, get project type. And then we are going to click on replace on a pass here, get project type, replace all. And then you can see we got a function within our composable, use get project. We're gonna pass here get project, and then it has to parameter the page and the query, and we're gonna pass here the projects. And then, guys, we need to return this function. We're gonna return the get project function and project data. We're gonna pass here get project, and then we're gonna pass here to the project data. It is right here in the loading, and the ATP verb, it is get. And now let's get into the projects page. And within the project page right now, it doesn't get anything within it. I'm gonna get into the member page again and copy the contents. I'm gonna get into the project page. I'm gonna do Control A, Control V, and then here, guys, we need to change something. First of all, I'm gonna comment something like router, because right now we are not going to deal with edits. I'm gonna copy these two, and then I'm gonna try to change something. Like for the composable, right here we're gonna say use get project, and then we need to import it from the get project.ts. Composable, we're gonna say get project. We're gonna pass a project data, and right here you're gonna say get project and show a list of projects like this projects, and then we're gonna modify it. We're gonna pass it within the unmounted hook. And then guys, if you see right here, we got a button project. We're gonna say projects, and for the project, we're gonna create a project. We are going to say create project page. It is going to be a page 2. Let me create it within the project folder and pass here another page. Let's say create project that we're gonna work on soon. Project page, create project.ts.view, sorry. And here we are going to pass here create member, create project. We're gonna pass here create project. Now for the project table, we need first to import it from the component. We're gonna import project table, and then we're gonna copy it and pass it right here. And right now within the project table, we doesn't have any action within it. I'm gonna remove all of that. We're gonna pass it project, because we are going to create in the project table the prompt, and then we're gonna pass it project. We're gonna pass it project data, because right here we got project data. I'm gonna copy it and pass it to these props that we're gonna create within the project table. And for the pagination, right now we haven't yet created a pagination. I'm not comment it, and then we're gonna pass here the project table. Now let's get into the project table. I got a boilerplate for that. I'm gonna copy it and paste it in. This within the project table right now, you're going to see right here, we need to define right here the type and get into the get project.ts, and you can see this is the type, get project type, and we're gonna pass it right here. We need to import it from the get project.ts, and we are going to have within this project table, we're gonna have a free event. We're gonna have an event that is going to allow us to pin a project on the dashboard, but also we're gonna have a data project. It is going to take the projects right here. We're gonna pass it the project ID, and we're gonna have view projects. We're gonna pass it to a project ID. We're gonna let it like this right now. We're gonna pass here view project detail like this. And then you're going to see, this is the project table. It is the ID, title, completion, edit, pin, and view. And I've already passed in some data. It is the same for the member page. We have this, we have right here, the project.data, like we did within the member table. It is the same thing. If we get into the member table, you're going to see right here, guys, we got the member and we loop within the member.data. It is the same thing within the project table. And I'm gonna get access to the project ID name, but also you can see we got a div right here. It is a Bootstrap progress bar, and we need to pass here another tab. It is task progress. It is within the task progress. If you get into the get project.ts, where we have this get project type, you're going to see right here we got task progress, and we're gonna pass it the percentage of the project, the progress of the project. It is in percent. And within the projects table right here, you can see we already passed it the task progress, and then I'm gonna copy this and pass it to this Bootstrap progress bar. And we got also the edit button, pinned project on the dashboard button, but also we got the router link. When we are going to click on this button, we're gonna see the details of the projects. Now let's try to see what we get in browser, and we're gonna refresh first, and let us get into the console and try to see if it doesn't get any error. And you can see right now we got an error, cannot read properties of now progress. It is now. If we take a look to our endpoint, guys, you're going to see right now a project, this project, that the task progress, it is not. And in order to avoid this error, we're gonna use optional change. And right here, we're gonna pass here on the progress. We're gonna try to check if we're going to pass here a question mark. That's what we call optional chaining. In order to check if it is not null, they're going to return undefined. And then we're going to check if the task progress has data in order to get access to the progress property. And if it is null, they're going to pass here undefined. And right now, and right here too, we're going to pass here an optional chaining. We're going to try to check if this task progress exists. And then let's try to see what we get in browser. And here, guys, if we refresh again, you're going to notice right now we are getting data. We are getting data from our saver. Yeah. Now we need to add a little width, the column of our project page. And right here, we're going to add here, it is going to be core medium 12. We're going to pass it to core medium 12, and the width, it is going to increase. And right now, you can see we got two projects, school system and X app. The completion, it is 0% right now. Now, this is our table. Now, let's add the search bar right here. And we're going to go ahead and get into, again, the project table. And here, guys, I'm going to wrap first this table within a div. I'm going to pass it. I'm going to say div, going to be a class of row. And I'm going to get into the member table and try to copy. We got right here a search bar. I'm going to copy this. Let me copy it. I'm going to copy this search bar. And I'm going to paste it within the project table. Project table right here. And then we can try even to pass here a base input and remove other stuff. I'm gonna remove that. I can let the placeholder. Yeah, for the key down event, we're gonna create it. For the loading, we're gonna create it too. And we're gonna pass here first the loading status. We're gonna say loading, it is type of boolean, but also we got the query. We are going to get into again within the member table. You can see right now, we're gonna implement all of that. I'm gonna copy that and paste it in within the project table. Yeah, under here. And you can see we have our debounce function that we have already created. I'm gonna import it, but also the query variable. And right here, we're going to emit a function get projects, get list of projects. We're gonna pass here get projects. We're gonna say, if we take a look within the get project.ts, it is two parameters. The first one, it is the page, and the second one, it is the query. This is the two parameter of our get project function. And within the project table, we're gonna pass here get projects function. It is the first parameter, it is the page, and the second parameter, it is the query. It is a type of string, and it is a promise. And then we're going to pass here void type. It doesn't return anything, and then copy the get project and pass it right here. We are going to emit it, and the error disappear. You can see right now we are passing right here the base input. We already registered within the app.ts. And let's go ahead and get into the project page. And right now we are going to add here, we are going to bound this function, get project. We need to emit it. And we're going to pass it to the project table. We're going to pass here this event, get project. Within the project table, we get project, but also we are going to pass it another property, loading. And then right here, we're going to pass here loading. If we take a look within the member page, you're going to see right here, we just import the Bootstrap 5 pagination. And I'm gonna try to register these components globally. I'm gonna pass it within the app.ts in order to have a code which is a bit clean. I'm gonna pass it right here, and then I'm gonna register it and pass it to the Vue instance in order to make it available globally. I'm gonna get into the member page and remove it right here, Bootstrap 5 pagination. And I'm gonna copy this slot right here and get into the project table. The project table, it is right here. And then I'm gonna pass here a slot. The pagination, it is going to be under our table tag, and pass here the name. It is going to be pagination. And get into the project page.view. And we're gonna pass here this component. We're gonna say pagination. It is the name of our slot. We're gonna pass here project data for the function that we need to emit when we click on the pagination. And right here, let me see if we haven't already. Yeah, everything it is clear. Now let's try to test if it is going to work. I'm gonna go ahead and on the project page, you're going to see right now we have this search. We can search for the project. I'm gonna pass here X app. Yeah, it is working pretty well. But you can see the pagination doesn't show up. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the project controller right here, project controller, and you can see right here, this is the pagination. We paginate by 10. I'm gonna say right now, we need to return one record. And let's try to see if we are going to get the pagination. Yeah, it is right there. I can click to move to the second page. It is working pretty well. Now let's move to another endpoint. Now guys, let's work on the create button. We want that when we click on this button, we need to move to the create project page. And right here, we already created this. This is our page, create project. And I'm gonna copy the content within the create member view and paste it in the create project view. I'm gonna work on this code. And then here guys, if we take a look to our endpoints, let's get into the project controller.php file. And you're gonna notice right here for the project, we send the name, starting date, and ending date. We're gonna pass here, we're gonna get into this file, and we need to pass here the project name, and here we're gonna pass here, we're gonna say start date, I'm gonna pass here start date, and then for the input, we're gonna say it is going to be the type of date, but also we're gonna pass here for the second input, we need to copy this, and then here guys, if we get into the browser and when we click on create project, we need also to register this page within the router.ts, and right here I'm gonna copy this and paste and pass here create project, and then if you get into the browser, you're going to see we have now the possibility to move to the create project page, but we got an error. We need to remove something within this page, and I'm gonna get into again the create project view, and right here guys, we need to import something. Right now I'm gonna get into the within the member folder. You can see we have an action create member.ts. I'm gonna copy all of that and get into the projects actions folder, and then I'm gonna create also an action. I'm gonna say create projects, and then I'm gonna see that TS, and then I'm gonna paste it in. And right now we need to modify something right here guys. For the member input type, we're gonna say for the member input type, we're gonna replace it to projects input type, and right here we need to remove that. We're gonna say right here it is going to be the project name, the starting date, and for response type, for the response type, it is a message. I'm gonna say we are going to change the member response type. We're gonna change it to project response type, and then we're gonna click again to replace all guys. And after that guys, we need also to create a store. You can see right here we have member store. We're gonna work on the create and update at the same time. And right here I'm gonna get into again within the project folder, I'm not creating another folder. I'm gonna say store, and within the store I'm going to creating a store. I'm gonna get into the member folder right here, you can see, and then I'm gonna get into the member store.ts and copy the content and get into the project folder again, and within the store folder I'm gonna say project store. We're gonna use the store to store data. It is going to be like a central data storage because we're gonna use it to create and update a project. And then we're gonna pass here the TS, and then we're gonna copy the content, and then we're going to modify. We're gonna say this one, it is going to be the project, not use project store TS, and then click replace all. Now right here we're gonna pass a project, and then it is going to be here we need to import the type we have defined within the create project.ts. We are going to import project input and get into the project store, and then we're going to pass it right here, and then we're going to pass here project input, and we need to import this type from the create project.ts. And then for the store, we need also to export it by saying here, we're going to say project store. And then we're going to go ahead and get into the project.ts and replace all member store. Right here, you can see we got member store. And then I'm going to select it. And then I'm going to replace it by the project store and click on replace all. And then you're going to see right now it doesn't have any error at this stage right here. And we need to change this composer use creator update member. I'm gonna pass here use creator update projects and then create or update. I'm gonna let it like it is. And then we're gonna pass here projects inputs. And then we're gonna say we're going to call update. We're gonna say update projects if this property it is true. Else we're gonna say create projects. And here we're gonna pass here, we're gonna change right here, we're gonna say pass here to updates. We're gonna pass here create projects, and then we're gonna change here for the endpoint it is projects, and the HTTP verb it is post, and right here we're gonna say project input and project input. Right here the HTTP verb it is going to be to put projects, and then right here we're gonna pass here project 2. And there we go. I think everything it is clear within this create project TS action. Now we need to get into the create project, the view page, and then we need to import this function. Right now, we need first to replace the member store to the project store. I'm gonna replace so. Now let's import the project store, and we're gonna import it, but also the use creator updates projects function. And then we need to pass here, you can see we are getting an error because of the rules. We need to pass here the name and the start date and ending date. We're going to pass here start date, but also the ending date. I'm going to remove that and duplicate that and end date. But also, guys, we need to change right here. You can see submit member. We're going to change it to submit projects. Submit projects. And then here, you're going to see right here, we need also to pass right here. You're going to see right here, just pass here. We're getting right here an error email. We need to pass here start date, and for the validation start date, and for the ending date too, end date. And right here, we're gonna pass here end date. And then we're gonna pass here. You can see we got the router link. It goes to the members page. We're gonna pass here projects. And then there we go. We just finished, guys. Now we need to test. We need to get into the browser and refresh and try to see if everything is going to work. Yeah, you can see right now we're on the project page. I'm gonna click on create projects, and then we need to change the title. I'm gonna pass here projects. And then here you can see we got projects. Now we need to test if the validation is working. Everything it is working pretty well. We can pass here the name of the projects. I'm gonna try to pass, and then right here you can see we are getting a validation error. This says that email it is not a valid email, and then right here we need to remove that also. And you can see right here, yes, the label is still to create member. I'm gonna change it to create projects. I'm gonna pass here projects, and then right here to projects. To pass here the name of the project management app, and then we're gonna select the starting date and 6 and ending date and pass it 21 and click on create projects. We're getting right here message project created. And then, guys, we need to move to another button, update project, and for that we're gonna get into the project page. And you're going to see right here, we have a comment something. We need to import the use router. We're going to use it in order to move to another page. You're going to pass here, we're going to say update project. And we're going to pass it the project type. If we get into the get project, and right here, we're going to say it is going to take the type of project type. And I'm going to pass it right here, project type. And then I need to import it. Yeah, like this. And here we need to change the member store to the project store, and then click on replace all. And then after that, we need to import this project store, and we are going to bound this event, this function, create edit project to the table. We're going to pass here this event, edit project, and then we need also to change right here to project inputs, and here I'm passing project to make things clear. And then guys, we need to get into right here, you're getting this. You can see it is a big object, and we are going to modify it because the project input, it has three keys: name, starting date, and ending date. Right now, if we over the project type, you're going to see the project type has many properties. You can see ID, name, starting date, and ending date, but also the slide. And here, guys, we are going to do this first. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna say we're gonna pass it the project ID. I'm gonna copy this, but also we are going to pass it the. Let me do this. I'm gonna assign it four property. I'm gonna pass it first the project.id. I'm gonna pass it the name. It is going to be the project name, the starting date, start date, and end date. These are four property that we're going to pass to it, the project input. Yeah, you're going to see right now this ID right here. We saying that this ID, it is not defined on the project's input type. We need to add it too. And I'm gonna go ahead and get into the project.ts and add right here the project input. We're gonna send also the ID. I'm gonna say it is going to be a type of a number. And the error, it is going to disappear within the project page. Right here, it doesn't have any error, it is a number. Now we need to go, we are going to get into the projects, the project table. It is within the components and create an event for that. And here you can see we have edit project, and we say that the edit project, it is going to take a type of project type. And I pass here the type, it is going to be project type. I'm gonna pass it project instead of the ID and pass a project type and import it. And then here, guys, we need to emit this function. When we're gonna click on the edit button, right here, we're gonna pass it right here to click, and then we're gonna emit this event, edit project, and then it is going to take a type of the project. I'm gonna pass here project like so. And then let's try to see, let's get into the browser and see if everything is going to work. Right now, we're going to move to the create projects page, and we're going to pass here projects. And also we need to modify something right here. You can see pass a semicolon instead of a not, because it is an event. Edit projects, and then let's try to check. I'm going to move to the project page and click on edit button. And then you can see right here, we need to try to modify something. Right here, let me try to check and refresh again this page. And then I'm gonna click on edit. Okay, you can see we got project management app, and then I'm gonna click edit. And then right here, project management app, I'm gonna add application, and then click again on update button. And then there we go. You can see you got a message project updated. And if we go to the project page, you're going to see right here, you got project management application. It is working pretty well. But if I go to the projects, I click again, edit, you're going to see right here, the status of the button change. It is changed to primary to warning. And if I go again to the project page and click to create button, you're going to see the status of this button doesn't change at all. And right here, you're going to see right here, we got a code. I'm gonna comment it, and then we want, when we move to the project page, we need to set the edit to false. But also we're gonna say the project input, it is going to be a type of, we're gonna assert it to this type. I'm gonna get into the create project TS, and then I'm gonna type it, I'm gonna assert it to the project input type, and get into the project page and pass it right here. And then we need to import it. And if we try again to do that action, you're going to see that everything, it is working. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna go again within the project page, click on edit, and then go back and click on create button, and then you're going to see the status change automatically. Alright guys, now we need to work on this button, pinned projects. We need to pin a project on the dashboard, and right now our dashboard doesn't have anything within it. We need to design it, and I have a board plate. I'm not pasting it in right here, and let us go back within the browser. You're going to see right here we got the total number of created projects. Right now it is a static value. It is a static value. I'm passing within an h2 tag. I'm passing 11. We're gonna replace it with the data that is going to come from the saver, and we're gonna pass here the task. Right here, the task, for the task, it is going to be the total number of tasks that concern a pinned project, completed or pending. But also we're gonna pass here the task progress. It is going to be a chart too. And we're gonna use Apex charts. If you haven't already installed Apex charts, you're going to install it. You're going to go at Apex documentation. And here guys, I got this code. I need to copy it. I need first to import the Vue Apex charts. I'm gonna get into the app.ts file. Yeah, right here, in order to pass this Apex chart to the Vue instance. I'm gonna pass it right here. Say use, and then I press it Vue Apex charts. And then we need also to add a chart. I've copied a boilerplate of a chart, donut chart from Apex documentation. I'm gonna copy it and get into the dashboard folder right here. I'm not creating a component folder, say components, and then I'm gonna say Apex donuts, the view, and then I'm gonna paste it in this code and remove all of that. I'm gonna remove that. Yeah. And then guys, you're going to see that this is the optional API, and we are working with Vue Composition API. But in this library of Apex charts, they're using Vue Option API. You can see right here, they use define component function in order to define properties for these charts. You can see right here, this chart takes a props. This is how we define, a prop for the component in Vue Option API. They pass it a task. It is going to be an array and required true, which means that we need to pass the data to this task variable. But also it is some other bunch of properties like options and labels. For the labels, we're gonna have pending and completed. But also we're gonna pass it cities. Cities, we're gonna pass here the first item of this array. It is going to concern pending, and the second one completed. And now let's try to import this chart within the dashboard. Import Apex donuts, and then you're going to see right here we already import it. It is up here, Apex donuts. And when we over it, say that we need to pass it this property, and then we're going to pass here the task, and later on we're going to replace this data with data that is going to come from the saver. We're going to pass here 60, and then you're going to see when we are going to refresh, we are going to get a chart right here. You can see completed is 60 and pending 40. Now we need to import also another chart, radio chart, that we're gonna use to see the progress of a given project in persons. And again, this code, I'm gonna copy all of that. It is a huge code. And then again, I'm gonna paste it in this content, and then you're going to see right here, it is a bunch of property. You're going to see right here, they're using Vue Option API. And right here, it takes the persons. It is type of number. This is going to be our property, and other options. Yeah, you're going to see it. You're going to copy this code, guys. But also for the stroke width, we are going to get access to this value. You can see right here, we got the persons. And in order to get access to this property, we are using the this keyword, this.props. You can see right here, we got data, and then we get access to the person property. And here, guys, you're going to see it takes cities. For the cities, we're going to parse it the persons only. And again, it is other things like generate data. I copy all of that from Apex documentation, guys. And I'm gonna get into the dashboard page, guys, and import that. I'm gonna pass here this. I'm gonna rename our components to Apex Radio Bar, and within the dashboard, I'm gonna pass here the name of this component and try to add it right here. Radio Bar is right here, and right here we are getting right up here an error. Let us check. We just import the Radio Bar from Apex Radio Bar like this. Now here we need to pass these components. Also we need to pass it the percent. This is appropriate, and then we're gonna say right now we're gonna pass it 70. And then let us get into the browser and refresh again. Right now you can see we got two charts. The first one is going to represent tasks which are completed and pending for the given project, and the task progress of a given project. And right here it is 70. We need to replace this data from the saver. And right now, guys, we're gonna go to the project page, and now when we are going to click on pinned, they're going to pass here these projects. It is going to take the title is going to be right here, and then you can have the possibility to see its analytics automatically. Alright guys, now let's pin a project on dashboard, and within the API.php file, you're gonna see right here we have an endpoint project/pinned, and it eats the pinned project method within the project controller. And right here you can see that for the request body, we're gonna pass the project ID, and then here we are going to update the task progress model. You can change the value within the pinned on dashboard. If you take a look within the task progress model, you're gonna see that right here, guys, we have two values. We have two constants, not pinned on dashboard with 0 and pinned on dashboard. And here you're going to see right here pinned on dashboard columns takes the value of 1. And if you take a look again within the database phpMyAdmin task progress model, you're gonna see right here one project is pinned on dashboard. And what we are going to do, we are going to get into the pinned projects method, and we're gonna add another query that is going to remove first a given project which is pinned on dashboard, and then we are going to add another one. We are going to do this task progress. We're going to pass it task progress, and then where we're gonna say pinned on dashboard, and then we're gonna say we're gonna update the value to 0. We're gonna say pinned on dashboard. I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna paste it right here. This code, it is going to remove all pinned projects on dashboard. I'll say not pinned on dashboard. Yeah, I'm gonna pass it this status. And then here we are going to add another project, and then we are going to pin another project on dashboard. This is how it is going to work. Right now, you can see within our task progress, we have one project which is pinned on dashboard. And first of all, we need to change. We need to remove this project with ID free. We need to remove it from the dashboard. And then we are going to add another project. Right here, you can see we just select where pinned on dashboard, and then we just assign it the value of 0. And you can see right here we have multiple query. We're going to wrap it within a transaction. I'm going to copy all of that and do return. We're going to use a transaction of return db, put in all our codes and return that. And now we're going to get into our project page. And right here, guys, we are going to create it right here, function pinned projects. And then we're going to pass it the project ID. It's going to be a type of number. And then we're going to move to another page. We're going to move on the dashboard. And I'm going to use the route. I'm going to copy that. And we are going to move to this page, the dashboard. Let me show you. When we are going to click, we need to move to the admin page. And I'm going to copy that. I'm going to pass it right here. And we need to pass these pinned projects on this project table right here. We're going to pass here. First of all, we need to check if we already emit this function pin project. You can see right here we got pin project. It is an event that we need to emit. And here we pass it pin projects. And then here we are going to move to the admin page, which is the dashboard. And I'm gonna get into the project page. and I'm gonna call this function pin project, and I'm gonna pass it this function. Let's try to do this. And then right here, I need to create another action project.ts, and I'm not passing the contents. For the function use get project, we're gonna say use pinned project. We're gonna pass it the project ID is parameter project ID, and for the you can see our make generic, the first generic parameter that we need to pass it is the request body type, and I'm gonna pass it. It's going to be the project ID, the type of number, and the response body is going to be a message. And for the endpoint, we're gonna pass it / project pinned like this, and the HTTP verb it is going to be to post, and we are going to pass it the project ID like this, and we're gonna display a message. In case we just pin a project on dashboard, we need to display this message, project pinned on dashboard. That's what we get within this project control. You're going to see right here for the response body, we are sending a message. And then here within the, I'm not getting into again the project page.vue, and right now within we need to return this function. We are going to pass here pinned project, and then we are going to get into the project page.vue and use this composable. Now let's import the use pinned projects. We need to import it, pass here, and we are going to import it first, and then we're going to pass here the function pinned projects. And you can see right here we got another function pinned projects. I'm gonna add here pinned projects on dashboard. Now let's pass these pinned projects on dashboard to our table. You can see right here we got an event pinned projects, and we need to call this function. And within this function, we got the router view. We're gonna move to the dashboard page, but also we need to call this function. And as it is an asynchronous function, this function returns a promise. We're going to pass here await, and we are going to await that this function finish in order to move to the dashboard page. And we're going to pass here the project ID like this. Yeah, this the project ID. And now let's try to do that. If we get into the table, you're going to see right here within the task progress table, right here we got a project with ID 3, which is pinned on dashboard. And now let me try to pin the project with ID 5 on the dashboard, project management application. I'm gonna click on pin, and then we're gonna move to the dashboard. You can see we got a message, project pinned on dashboard. And if we get into, we take a look to the task progress table, you're gonna see right here, guys, that the project with ID 3 was pinned on dashboard, return it to 0, and then we just have another project which is pinned on dashboard, which is the project with ID 5. Yeah, you can see right here. For now, we need to display the project which is pinned on a dashboard. Now guys, let's display a project which is pinned on dashboard. And if we take a look to within the API.php file, and you're gonna notice here, guys, we haven't yet create the endpoint that is going to allow get a project which is pinned on dashboard. And we're gonna go ahead and get into the project controller. And right here, guys, I'm gonna create a function get pinned projects, and I'm gonna pass in a variable project, and I'm gonna use the db facade to make a little join. I'm passing here the task progress. We're gonna use this table to get a project which is pinned on dashboard. I'm gonna use join. We're gonna make a join to the project table in order to get the name of a given project plus the ID and other stuff. And then we're gonna do task progress that project's ID is equal. Do this is equal to the project's .id like this. If you take a look within our PHP admin on the task progress, we got a foreign key project ID, and we use this column in order to get the project's name. And we're gonna pass here task progress and pass it task progress like this, and then we're gonna use a column pinned on dashboard. And within the task progress model, we got two constant task progress. We got two constants. We're gonna get access to pinned on dashboard constants. We're gonna say where the pinned on dashboard is equal to 1, and we're gonna retrieve this data. Do first, and we are going to check if the project's variable is not null. We're gonna pass here is not null, and then projects, and we are going to, if it is not null, we are going to return this variable. We are going to store it within a data variable, and then we are going to return the project. Now, if it is null, we are going to copy the same thing, and we are going to return null. I'm gonna copy this and paste it right here, and we are going to return null. And we are going to create an endpoint that is going to eat this method within the API.php. And I'm gonna copy the same thing, and right here I'm gonna say pinned project like this, pinned project / and then I'm gonna copy the get pinned project method. We are going to edit. Now let's try to see if we're going to get the pinned projects within the browser. I'm gonna get into the browser and open a new window and try to test this endpoint if it is working pretty well. Pass here, yeah. Now, yeah, you can see right here, guys, we are getting data of a project which is pinned on dashboard. You can see right here, we got the name project management. Now we are going to use two columns. We need to use two columns. We're gonna select two columns, the name and the project ID. We're gonna add here another. We're going to add here a select method in order to make our query efficient. And I'm gonna add here. I'm gonna say select. We're gonna select the project's ID, but also we are going to select the project's name and pass here project that name like this, and try to check again. You're going to get the project's ID and project name, project management application. Now we need to get into within the dashboard folder and try to create a function that is going to eat this endpoint. And right here we got the dashboard folder. We are going to creating the dashboard folder with actions folder, and within it we're gonna creating the action. We're gonna say get pinned project.ts, and we're going to get into the file right here. I'm gonna get into the project folder and copy contents within the get project.ts. I'm gonna copy everything within it and get into the get pinned project and paste it in these contents and try to modify things. And right here I'm gonna remove all of that, and for the composable we're gonna say use get pinned projects, and we're gonna remove the loading. We're gonna remove all of that and say get pinned projects, and here we are going to remove this parameter loading. We're gonna remove that. We are not going to use that. And also you're going to see our make HTTP function. We're gonna pass it. We are not going to send anything, but we are going to change right here. We're gonna pass here pinned /project, pinned /project. This is the endpoint, and we're gonna use the get HTTP verb, but also for the response we are going to get this type of data. You're going to see right here we have an object, its contains, let me zoom a little bit. We have right here an object and it contains data. And we are going to type it. We're going to say we're going to have an object. We're going to have a data property within it, and it has two keys, the ID and number, and the name, it is type of string. And now we are going to return this data. I'm going to create a constant. I'm going to say projects and try to create a tab. I'm gonna say it is going to be a tab of sports type pinned project type like this, and then we're gonna assign it this data, and then right here guys we're going to pass it this type to our make HTTP rec function, and our project variable right here, we need to type it with this pinned project type like so, and we're going to say it is an object and we assign it to the pinned project type. And when we are going to get data, we are going to assign it. We're going to say the project that value, and then we're going to assign it data. And right here, you can see if we over this data, we have another data property. Within it, we're going to use the structuring. And then here, we are going to say the value is going to be of this type. We're going to pass here this. We're going to say it is going to be, I'm creating another type. I'm going to say right like this type pinned projects. And then I'm going to assign it the ID and the name. I'm going to pass it right here to the data. And then I'm going to say this project is going to take this type, and I'm going to assign it to the pin project type. And here you're going to see if we over the data, it is a type of pinned project. And we are going to return it. You pass it right here. We need to return the function get pinned project, but also we are going to return the projects like this. And then let's get into the dashboard page and try to use this get pinned projects function. And within the dashboard page, we are going to get access to it. We're going to use the structuring to get access to data. We're going to first import the use get pinned project function. We're going to import it, but also we're going to pass here the projects. But also we're going to say get pinned projects function. It is a promise. We're going to pass it over here. We're going to pass here await. We're going to await this promise, and then we're going to get access to, we're going to display the name of project which is pinned on dashboard. And we're going to say project and then that name. If we get into the browser, you're going to see right now we got a project which is pinned on dashboard. And if I refresh again, you're going to see this project. Yeah, right now you can see we got projects. You're going to see right now we are getting the name of the projects. Now the next things to do is to display a list of the total number of created projects. We are going to eat these endpoints. Let me show you the endpoints count / projects. And let's try to see what we get first within the browser. I'm going to try to eat these endpoints. I'm going to pass here API / count / projects. And then you're going to see right now we already created 4 projects. And guys, you can see I'm getting access to protected resource because right now you're going to see right here we have disabled the security. And right now I'm not getting to again within the project, within the dashboard folder. I'm going to create another action. This action, it is going to be count projects. I'm going to pass here, I'm going to say count projects.ts, and then I'm pasting in the contents. Right now we need to change the type, and we're going to say for the type, we know that we are getting the count. I'm going to say count project type, count projects, and then we're going to assign it an object. Now say it's going to be a type of number, and then we're going to pass it to this variable project that we're going to change later on. And right now we're going to say count project, it is going to be the name, but also for the composable it is going to be, we're going to say use get total projects, and we're going to say right here get total project for the function. And for the endpoint, we're going to pass here count / projects, and we need also to pass here the return type. And the count project, we're going to assign it the data that we get back from the saver. We need also to retain the count project variable, but also the get total projects. Now we need to get into the dashboard page, the view, and import that. Right now I'm going to pass here, we're going to say I'm going to extract the project variable, and then I'm going to assign it this composable. And within this composable, we got a function. I'm going to say get projects. Let me import it first. We're going to import it, and right now we're going to pass get to projects. And then you can see with this function, it returns a promise. and we are not going to await it to finish, and then we are going to pass the data to this h2 tag, and then we're going to use optional chaining to get access to the count property. If this count property doesn't exist, we're going to get undefined right here. It's better to use optional chaining in order to avoid an error. And here you're going to see right now we got 5. Alright guys, now let's integrate Laravel Echo within our Vue.js app. And we're gonna add Laravel Echo to the window instance, but also you have to make sure your broadcast driver is Reverb. I'm gonna get into the JS folder right here within my resource folder. I'm not creating another folder. I'm gonna say tabs. And within the tabs, I'm not creating a file, a DTS file. I'm gonna say global.dts. Let me say global as a global.dts like this, and then I'm gonna add echo to the window interface. I'm gonna type here window like this, and then I'm gonna pass echo this property to the window interface. I'm gonna say it is going to be a type of any, and then I'm gonna get into the count project.ts file, and I'm not creating a function updates data, and then within this function we're gonna get access. We're gonna do window and then that echo like this, and you can see it doesn't get any error because echo it is on the window instance. And right here, if I do this, I just comment echo, and you can see right now we are getting an error because we just remove echo to the window object, and this is how we add it to the window object if you are working with TypeScript. And then guys, I'm not getting, and we are going to listen to a channel, and we're gonna pass here first the name of the channel, and then we are going to listen for an event that is going to be filed on the server. We're gonna pass the name of the event, and then we're gonna pass here callback, and this callback it is going to take a parameter, and then we are going to console this data that we are going to give up from our server. And what we are going to do is, you can see right here we got the total number of create projects is 4. When we are going to listen for an event, like let's say let's create first an event. The event that we are going to create, we're going to say PHP artisan make event, and then we're gonna say new project created. And then when we are going to listen, when this event it is going to be fired, we are going to listen to it via Laravel Echo, and then we are going to increment this number automatically in real time. That's what we are going to do. But also guys, you have to make sure your Laravel server is running, your Vue server is running, your Q server is running by typing PHP artisan Q work, because we are going to use events and jobs. And also you have to make sure your Reverb server is running too by typing PHP artisan reverb starts. This is how we start the Reverb server. Now we're gonna get into this event. You're going to see within your app folder, you got another folder, events, where all your events will be registered when you create one new project created. And then right here, guys, you're going to see we got the private channel. By default is private channel, but as we are going to use public channel, we're going to pass a channel, and then we're going to say the name of the channel. It is going to be count projects, and you can see within these events we got new project created, and we are going to implement an interface should broadcast. We're going to say implement like this interface should broadcast, and then we are going to pass, when we are going to call this event, we are going to pass its data. We're going to say we are going to create a public variable right here. We're going to say public, and I say count projects like this, and then we are going to get access to we're going to initialize it. We're going to say this, that's count project is equal to count project. We're going to pass it to the constructor function. Now guys, it seems that we are getting right. Yeah, we need to add here semicolon. Now we are going to get into this file. We are going to listen. When we are going to create a new project, we are going to listen to this event, new project created. We're going to get in the project controller, and right here you're going to see we got a function let us look. You can see we got a store function right here, and we are going to create a project. We are going to listen to this event. I'm gonna paste it right here, this, and then I'm gonna say dispatch, and then I'm going to pass here the total number of projects that we have. And here you can see we got a function count projects. Let me look for it. You can see we got a function right here, count projects. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this function right here. I'm going to bring it up here, update, and then I'm gonna pass it right here. I'm gonna say count, and then I'm going to pass right here the count variable. And then we need to import this event, and then we're gonna pass this path right here. Now, the next thing we have to do is to listen for that event. You're going to see within the count project TS, we are going to pass here first. The name of the channel is count projects. Now, the event that we need to listen for is new project created. And right here, we're gonna say this parameter right here, it is going to be a type of any. And we're gonna call this event, we're gonna pass it right here. Within the get total project, we're gonna call it. I'm gonna pass it right there, and then I'm gonna format my documents. Now, we need to get into the browser and try to create a project, and then we are going to get a message within the console. I'm gonna log in. Now, right here, I'm gonna get into the console in order to see if we are going to get data within the console when we are going to create a new project. Right now, I'm gonna refresh this page, and then right here, you can see we're on login page, and then I'm gonna log in a user. I'm gonna pass here. Let me see the name of the user that I want to log in. I'm gonna pass ben11@gmail.com because we know the password. I'm passing ben11@gmail.com, but also the password is 123456, and then I'm gonna click on login, and then I'm gonna get into the system. Yeah, I'm logging, and then I'm gonna move to the create project page, and then right here I'm gonna create a new project. And then you're going to see right here, right now we have 4 projects within our database, and I'm gonna try to create a new project. I'm gonna pass here task manager, and then I'm gonna pass here the starting date 7 and the ending date 28, and then I'm gonna create a project. When I'm going to create project, they're going to listen for these events, and then I'm click create projects, and then you're going to see within the console, you're going to get a message project created, and then boom, we are getting a message here, guys. You can see count projects, it is 5. Right now it is 5, and I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna get into again within the count project TS, and I'm gonna type this very right here. I'm gonna say the count project, this parameter, it is a type of count project, and the count project, it is type of a number. And then here I'm going to do this. You can see right here we got a variable count projects. I'm gonna pass it data. I'm gonna say count project is going to take this. I'm gonna copy this, and then we are going to do this. As it takes a count property, I'm gonna copy this and pass here the count, and do like this, and the error, it is going to disappear. Right now, if we create another project, we are going to get a message. Let me try to create another project, and then I'm gonna move my window right here, and right now we are getting 5 projects. You can see here total project is 5. I'm gonna try to create another project. I'm gonna pass here to-do list app. This is a new project. And then I'm selecting the starting date. I'm gonna select 12, and the ending date I'm gonna select 27, and then I'm gonna click create projects. And then you're going to see this number, it is going to increment automatically in real time. And that's it, guys, and congratulations, you just learned how to integrate Laravel Echo within a Vue.js app. Alright, guys, now let's populate our chart with server data, and we need first to get total number of tasks which are in pending and completed for the project management application. And first of all, if we take a look within our model, task model, you're gonna see right here we got 3 status. Now started, the value is 0, pending 1, and completed 2. Now in the task table right here, you're gonna see the task with the project ID 5. It has 2 tasks: create the UI. This task, it is in pending, and the second one it is in not started status. Now we need to get the total number of tasks which are pending and completed. That's what we need to do right now. And I'm gonna get into our project controller and try to creating a function. I'll say get project chart data, and we are going to use the project's ID. We need to send the project ID within the request body. We're gonna pass the project ID, and then we're gonna say request pass here project ID, and then we're going to do task where we're gonna use the project ID, where project ID is equal to the project variable, and then we're gonna say get. And then right here I'm getting an error. I'm not getting to first. I need first to import this model. Right here I'm going to pass here the task model, and then here we are going to pass here the for each loop. We're going to say task. We are going to create right here 2 constants. The first one, it is going to be completed, and the second one pending. And then we're gonna assign it to 0, and the second one completed. We're gonna assign it to 0. And then right here I'm going to say this: if info, I'm gonna convert this status. I'm gonna get access to the status column. Status, and I say is equal to task, and then right here I'm going to say pending, and then I'm going to increment the pending variable by 1. I'm gonna say pending plus plus like this, and then I'm gonna copy this and try to check. I'm gonna increment the completed variable right here like this, and then I pass here completed like this, and then after that I'm going to return a response to our Vue.js app. Right here I'm going to do this, return response. I'm going to create right here a variable. I'm gonna say task, and then I'm not assigning an array. The first one we're gonna pass it pending, and the second one completed like this, and then we are going to send the task. Because if we take a look within our, let us check within the dashboard page, you're gonna see for the donut chart, we are going to pass it an array. Right here you can see this is the data that we are going to pass to it, and then right here I'm going to return it. The first item within this array is pending, is total number of tasks which are in pendings and completed for the second one. And then guys, you're going to see right here within the dashboard page we got another chart, progress. We need to get the progress in percent of a given task. If we take a look within the task progress, you're going to see right here the project which is pinned on dashboard. It has the ID 5 and the progress is 0%. Now we need to get also this progress. Now let's get the progress of a single project, and we're gonna create first a variable. We're gonna say task progress, and we're going to use the task progress model, and then we're gonna say where the project's ID is equal to this variable, this to the project ID, and then we're gonna get an object. And within this object, it is going to contain the project's ID. Let me show you. It is going to contain the project ID and these 2 columns pinned on dashboard, but also the progress. And we are going to say this, as we need only the progress column, we are going to select it in order to make our query efficient. We're going to say select progress, and then we are going to get access to this property. We're going to say progress, and then we have to make sure it is a number. We're going to use the interval function in order to convert the property progress to a number. We're going to pass here progress like this, and then we are going to get into the API.php to create an endpoint that's going to eat this function. And we're going to say right here, I'm going to copy that and say the endpoint chat data / project chat data like this, and then we're going to pass our function that we need to hit. Now let's get into the browser, and here guys I'm going to hit this endpoint API, and then we're gonna say chat data, and then you can see right here we are passing it the parameter project ID, and it is 5. And I'm gonna zoom a little bit, and then you can see right here we're getting an object. It has two properties. The first one, it is an array task, and the first item within this array concern task which are pending, but also for the second item concern task of given projects which are completed, and the progress of these projects, of the projects with ID 5. Now you need to get into the dashboard folder, and right here we're going to define an action that is going to hit this endpoint. I'm not getting to first the gay paint projects and copy all of that and create an action. I'm say gay chat data.ts, and I'm gonna paste this content. And right here guys, you're going to see right here, this is the type that we are getting back from our server when we are going to try to hit this endpoint, the chat data / project, but also it is the ID, project ID. To see task like this, it is an array of numbers and the progress. When I say it is going to be an array of numbers, we're going to pass here number, but also we got the progress, progress, and then we're going to say also it is a number. Now we are going to remove that, and we are going to name our composer. We're going to say use get chat data, and we're going to create a reactive property where we're going to store data that we're going to get back from our server. I'm going to say chat data, and then we're going to type it with the chat data type, and then we're going to pass here a function get chat data, and then guys we are going to pass here the data where we are going to store data that came back from the server, and then we're going to specify also the return type. You're going to pass it over here, and then we're going to say chat data that value, and then we're going to assign it data, and there we go. Now we need to return the get chat data function, but also the chat data reactive property, and we are going to get into the dashboard page that view and get access to this property. Now, first of all, we need to define a constant, and then we're going to assign it the use get chat data, and we are going to import it. Let me first import it, and then we need to get access to the chat data, but also the get chat data function. And we forget to add something within the get chat data.ts action. Right here, we are going to pass also the project ID. We're going to define here the project ID. It's going to be a type of number, but also we are going to pass it within our endpoint project ID. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the dashboard page that view and call this function get chat data. Now let's pass get chat data the project ID, and right here you got a variable projects, and we just extracted it within the use get pin project composable right here, and it is a reactive property. It has two property, the ID and a name. We're gonna get access to the ID. We're gonna do projects.value.id. It is the ID of the project which is pinned on dashboard, and then we're gonna use the chat data and then pass it to our Apex donor charts. I'm not wrapping within a div, and I'm gonna make a little check. I'm gonna do if the chart data it is not undefined, and then I'm going to render our charts. I'm gonna pass it, and else we're gonna do v else. We're gonna pass in another div, and then v else we are going to pass. We are going to say no data. We're gonna pass here no data, or we can just display a chart which doesn't have any data, because if we take a look to our endpoint right here guys, you're going to see if a project doesn't have any task which is pending or completed, we're gonna have right here 0 and 0 right here, and for the progress is 0. We are going to pass here 0 and right here 0. And if we got a task which has data, we are going to pass here this chart data, and I'm not copy it. And then we're going to move to another chart, apex radio bar. We're gonna try to make also a little trick. We're gonna do v if the chart data that's progress it is greater than 0, and then we are going to pass it to our charts. Else we are going to display the person 0%, and then we're gonna do div v else display a chart which doesn't have any data. We're gonna pass here chart data. Let me pass it to the person properly, and like this. And then if you get into the browser, you're going to see right here we are getting, let me refresh again. I'm gonna refresh first, and then you're going to see right here, guys, we are getting data. Right here you can see our charts, our projects has one task which is pending, and for the radio bar chart we doesn't have anything. Right here you can see it is empty. And if I get into the task progress table, and then you're going to see right here the project ID 5. It is pinned on dashboard. I'm gonna try to change the value. I'm gonna pass here first 10, and then I'm gonna go back to the dashboard and refresh again. You're going to see right now we are going to get data right here. Yeah, 10%. If it doesn't have data, if the percent it is 0, we are going to display nothing right here. And if I put back here 0, you're going to see empty. I'm gonna move to the project page and go back to the dashboard, and then you're going to see right now it is empty because we doesn't have any data. Now let's move to another endpoint, which is the project details. Right here, we are going to click on this button, to this yellow button, and then we're gonna move to our Kaban board that we're gonna design right now. And later on, guys, we're going to add real time to our chart when we're gonna finish add some functionality, some feature to our Kaban boards. And then we are going to add real time to our charts. And right now, guys, let me show you the endpoints that we're gonna eat. We are going to eat the endpoint project /slack. We're gonna pass the slack of a given project, and then you're gonna see the details of a single project. If I get into the projects table, guys, you can see we got 6 projects. We are going to use the slack field, the slack column, in order to see the details of the single project. Once we tap the slack of a given project within the navbar, you're going to see this. You're going to see we got an object, and it contains a data, and we have the ID of the projects which we just selected, and also it is task that has been attributed to this project. And a given task can have members that has been attributed to it. You can see right here we got task. This is a task object, and the name of this task is create the UI, and this task has members. Yeah, you can see this is an array of members attributed to the create the UI task. And here you can see we have the member ID, but also we got details of a single member like ID, name, email, and so on, guys. But also you're going to see we got the data. It contains the task that has been selected, the task array, but also we need to display to the task progress in order to view the progress of a single task. You can see on this Kaban board we got the project name, starting date, ending date. We got the progress, but also you can see within the Kaban board we got task, and a given task has members. Now we need to add something to our endpoint. We are going to get into the project controller. And let me show you guys, you're going to see right now, we are getting access to tasks that has been associated to a given project. Now we're going to add another thing, the task progress. We're going to add it right here in order to get the progress of a single task within this endpoint. And we're going to refresh again, and then you're going to see now we got 3 property. First of all, we got project details, and then we got the task array, or task related to projects, but also we got the task progress property. You can see this is the ID of the project, pinned on dashboard, it is 1, progress is 0. Now guys, we are going to pass this data to our Kaban board. This is what we are going to do. And first of all, we need to design our Kaban board. Now we're gonna get into within our admin folder, and we are going to create another folder. We're gonna say Kaban board. And then we're going to create first the folder. We're gonna say Kaban board like this. And then within it, we are going to create in a page. We're gonna say Kaban board view. I'm gonna pass here first an H1, and then the H1 we're gonna say Kaban board for the title. And if you take a look within the project table view, you're gonna see right here we got a yellow button, write a link. Let me get into the browser. You can see write a link. Yeah, this button. I just pass it the class of btn warning, and it has a path Kaban and the query. We just assigning this slag of given projects in order to see the details of single projects. Now we need first to pass here the path of this Kaban board page, and Kaban board page the view like this. We're not going to click on button view. You're going to see right here we just display Kaban board, and we got the query. The path of this page is Kaban plus the query. It is the slag of these projects. Now what we are going to do is to get into our Kaban board page the view, and we need first to get access to the slag. We need to get access to it. We're going to pass a script. Lang is ts and set up attributes. Now we are going to use roots composable in order to get access to this slag, and the slag is stored within a query. And so what I'm going to do, I'm gonna create a constant roots, and then I'm going to do this roots, and then use roots composable. We just import it from the view router, and then you're going to see when we are going to mount this component to the DOM, we are going to display the query. You're gonna do console.log roots.query, and then we're gonna get access to the query. Let me get into the browser and refresh. I'm gonna get into the console, and then you're going to see you're going to get the query right here. You can see we're getting the query. This is the query, school system app, and a random number right here. And then we are going to do query.query like this, and then we're going to display the query of a given project. I'm gonna refresh again, and then we're gonna get the query. You can see right here we got school system app. This is the query. Now the second thing we need to do is, you can see right here we got a menu. This is a breadcrumb in Bootstrap. This is a breadcrumb. But also you can see we got a section of the projects. You're going to display the name of the project, the starting date and ending date. But also we got a progress bar. We're gonna pass it the progress of a given project, and then we're gonna design our Kaban board. Now guys, we are going to pass here a div. We're gonna wrap all of that within a row. We're gonna pass here a div. We're gonna say the class, it's going to take the class of the row, and right now we're gonna create in the Kaban board a component folder where we are going to put in all components related to the Kaban board page. The first component, I'm gonna name it breadcrumb. It is a Bootstrap component, and then I'm going to have a boilerplate for that. This is the boilerplate. I'm gonna copy all of that and paste it in within the breadcrumb view. Yeah, and then I'm going to, you can see it is a link. You just pass it the router link, and it is another link that allows to move to the project page. And we're gonna go ahead and get into the Kaban board page, the view, and register. We need to import it. Import breadcrumb from components breadcrumb the view, and then we're gonna pass it right here. And then we're gonna get into the browser. You're going to see right now we got a breadcrumb. This is what we call a breadcrumb. It is a Bootstrap component. We can click on projects, and then we're gonna move to the project page, and then we're going to click again on the view details. Now you can see on our photo we need to pass here a project section. We need to display the name of the project and the dates of these projects. And I have also another boilerplate for that. I'm going to copy it, and pass it under the breadcrumb component. This is right here. You can see you're going to pass here the name of the project. I'm gonna pass it for project name, and then right here we're gonna display here the starting date and here the ending date, like this. We're gonna say ending date. And I'm not getting to again within the browser. You're going to see right now we got the project name, starting date, and ending date. Now we need to edit our endpoint. Our endpoint is right here. We are going to edit in order to starting interacting with our server. We are going to first to edit this endpoint, and we are going to display first the name, some details of a given project like name, starting date, and ending date. This is the data that we're getting back from our server. Now we need to type it with TypeScript. I'm gonna go ahead and get into and create another folder. I'm gonna say actions, and we're gonna creating an action. We're gonna say get projects detail.vue.ts, and we are going to create another file. We are going to put in types of this action. Get projects detail.types.ts, like this. We're gonna put in types, and I've already prepared that. This is the type of this endpoint. It is a huge one, and then I'm gonna copy it and paste it within the get project detail types.ts. And if you take a look to our endpoint, it is that. You can see we got the data that we got right here. You're going to see got data and other properties. We got the task progress. The task, it is an array. This is our task. It is an array. And right here, you're going to pass here task progress instead of project progress. I'm going to pass here task progress. And then you're going to see it is the ID, project ID, pinned on dashboard, and created it and updated it. And right here, you're going to see we need to pass here another field. We can even pass this, but we are not going to use it. But in any way, I'm gonna copy it and pass it right here and say the type it is a number. I'm gonna pass here a number. Now we need to create an endpoint that is going to eat this one. And we're gonna go ahead and get into the project folder, and I'm gonna copy something within the get project.ts. I'm gonna copy all of that and paste it in within the get project detail. Compose. I'm gonna pass it within this action. Let me show you. We got two files, get project details.ts, but also the get project details.types.ts. I'm gonna paste all of that, and then we are going to change something within it. Now for the response, we are going to copy this. You can see we just export. We're gonna say single project response type. I'm gonna copy that, and we're gonna type our query. We're gonna say for the name of the composable, we're gonna say use get project detail, and then it is an object, and then we're gonna say it is going to be the project data, and we're gonna pass here get project detail, and it is going to take a parameter, We're gonna pass here the slag of the project that we're gonna use in order to get details of the project. And right here, we are going to pass here projects, and we're gonna pass here car. We're gonna hit this endpoint. Let me get into the API.php. You're gonna see this endpoint, project /slag. This is the endpoint that we need to hit. And within this get project detail, let me get in get project details. We're going to pass project / we're gonna pass / the slag. I'm gonna pass here the slag. This is the slag right here that we just passed as parameter to our get project detail function. And for the response type, you're gonna need to type it, and the HTTP verb, it is get, and then we just pass data to our project data variable. And right now we need to return the get project details, but also the project data, like this. Now we're gonna go ahead and use this use get project details composable function within the Kaban board.vue, and we're gonna extract the project project, like this, project data, and then we're gonna assign it this composable in order to extract data, and then we're gonna call another function. We're gonna extract another function, get project details, and it takes, you can see it takes a slide. And here what I'm going to do, I'm gonna create right here a constant. I say query, and then I'm going to do roots, that's query, like this, that's query. And then we're going to call this function. It is a promise. We're gonna await it. We're gonna pass here a sync to our callback, and then we're gonna say await. And right here we are going to pass it the query, and I'm gonna pass it, and you can see we are getting an error. The type of the query, TypeScript infers it to be a location query value. I'm not associated to a string, and then the error, it is going to disappear. Now we are going to have the possibility to display data. We're going to pass here the name of the project data, and then you can see we need to get access to the data right here. We are going to pass here data, and then we're going to hit the name of the project. We're going to copy the same code right here, and I'm going to pass here this and this, and then we're going to pass here start dates and end dates like this. And yeah, you can see right now we got the starting date and the ending date. Now we need to pass right here the progress of a given project. And for that too, I got a boilerplate. I got a code for that. I'm gonna copy. This is the code of the Bootstrap progress. You're going to go at the bootstrap.com website, and then you're going to see this code. I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm paste it right here. This is the progress. Let me show you first how it works. And I'm gonna copy this code and pass it right here, and then I'm gonna comment this. And then I'm gonna pass here the style. I'm gonna say style, and then I'm gonna pass it the style of width. I'm gonna say the width is going to be 12%. And if we get into the browser, you're going to see right now we got 12% right here. I can pass even 32, and then here for the label, I'm gonna pass 32. And then you're going to see right now we are getting 32. If I pass 77, and then let me pass here 77, and then 77, yeah, like this, and then you're going to see we got 77%. Now this is how this Bootstrap progress bar works. Now what we are going to do, we're going to pass the progress of a given project. Right here we're going to say the style. We are going to do style paddings in Vue. This is how I do style paddings, and then we're going to pass it an object. And right here, we are going to do this. I'm going to copy this code, and then let me copy this. And then we're going to get access to the progress property. We're going to pass here, we're going to say the percent. And then I'm going to copy the same line right here and pass it to the label. And then you're going to see right here, we are going to get 0% right now. Yeah, you can see we're getting 0%. And then let me see what is the problem. You can see that our progress bar is almost at the end. I'm gonna try to refresh a bit and see what we get. Right now we are getting 0% right here. You can see 0%. And if we take a look to our endpoint, right here is the progress. The value it is a string. We're gonna try to convert this value to a number, and then I'm gonna pass here parse int, and then we're gonna get right here 0. Yeah, 0%. I'm gonna refresh again, and then we're gonna get right here. You can see we got 0%. Now the second thing, you can see right now our code is growing. This component is growing. I'm gonna create a component for that. For this section, I'm going to create a component. I'm going to say project data, and then I'm going to copy this code in order to make this page a little bit clean, because it is growing every time. When we're going to add the Kaban board, it's going to grow again, and we need to refactor it every time. I'm going to copy this, I'm going to remove that, and paste it in the project data, the Vue components, and I'm going to pass you first the scripts. the length, tiers, and setup. Define prop, and we are going to say projects data. It is going to be a type of this type that we got within the it is going to be a type of single project response type. We're going to copy this, and we're going to get into the project data component and pass it right there. And then we need to import it. We're going to import it right here, and then we're going to get into our Kaban board, the view page, and we are going to import this component. Import project data from components, yeah, like this. And then we're gonna pass it right here. We're gonna pass it data, and then the data is project data. I'm gonna copy this and do project data. We're gonna pass it data like this, and you can see right now this component, it is clean a bit. Now I'm gonna copy to the progress. I'm gonna copy all of that, and I'm going to create a component for this. Even though, but also I can put it to within the project data. Within this page, I can pass it right here, and then right here I need to pass here the project. I'm gonna pass here this P, and pass here even P in capital letter in order to get rid of the error. And then I can even, I'm not trying to make things clean. I'm gonna create another component, projects. I'm gonna say projects progress, and then I'm going to copy the code. I'm gonna get into the project data and copy everything that we got in and paste it in the project progress, the few components. And I'm gonna get rid of the stuff that we got within the template. I'm gonna remove that. And for the project data component, we're gonna let it like it is. And then we're gonna get into the Kaban board, the view, and import this component. We're gonna do import project progress, and then we're gonna pass it right here, yeah, like this. And then we're gonna pass it to data, and then you're going to see that this page Kaban board, the view, it is clean. Now we need to design our Kaban board for that. And you can see our Kaban board is within a Bootstrap card. And right here, I'm not getting to the Kaban board view page, and I'm going to design our Kaban board. And here, I'm gonna do this div class car, and then we're gonna pass it within the class of car body. And it is free section. You're going to see right here, and then we are getting right here an error. The project data has already been declared. Now you can see we have here our component is named project data, but also we got project data reactive property. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna say project detail, and then I'm gonna copy this and try to change the name of these components. And then you're going to see right now we are getting a little Bootstrap car right here. And then I'm going to do this within the car body. We're gonna pass in, we're gonna create a row, gonna say class row, and then we're gonna create in free column. The first one is going to be not static, core medium 4, and then I'm gonna copy this code and duplicate that. And within it, we're gonna create in a class of car header, and then I'm gonna copy that and pass it to other column. This one I'll say pending, and this one we're gonna say here completed. And you're going to see right here, you're going to pass here a button, add task, with a yellow color, and I'm gonna say button and class btn warning, and I say here add task. And if you get into the browser, you're going to see right now we got three columns. The first one is not started task are going to be displayed within this column, and you can see we got pending completed. But also I'm gonna change the text format of pending completed and increase the height of our columns. You can see our three columns are wrapped within the car body. And right now I'm going to add right here the style. I'm gonna say the height we're gonna pass here 500 pixel. And for the pending column, we're gonna pass here the bold by wrap the pending text within the b tag, and for the completed to b tag, like this. And then you're going to see right now with our free columns has another height, and you're going to see right here, guys, we have the task right here. We're going to create a car. Right now, I'm gonna pass here a car under the not started. This is the not started column, and I'm gonna pass here first the class of not started, and right here I'm gonna pass here, I'm gonna say pending task. This is the class, and then this I'm gonna pass here completed task. And then here under this not started column, I'm not adding a row. I'm gonna say right here we're gonna have a div, and then we're gonna say of class car body, and then within it we're gonna pass in the name of the task. Within the p tag, I'm gonna say create the UI, and we're gonna have a div within it. We're gonna say the class, we're gonna pass it the class of Isanis, and then we're gonna pass in a button, and then a class btn primary, and then we're gonna pass here I, and then I'm gonna copy this code and I'm gonna duplicate that, and then we're gonna pass here free assignees, like this. Now if you get into the browser, you're going to see right now we got the name of the task, create the UI, and free assignees. Now we are going to change the color of these buttons. We're going to say the first member, the first member that's going to be attributed to a task is going to take the color of primary, the second one light, and the third one secondary. That I'm going to do. And here I'm gonna say this one is going to be light. The second one we're gonna pass here secondary, and the name of the member, we're gonna take only one character of the name of the member who has been attributed to a task. We're gonna pass here even F, and then you're going to see right now we got primary, light color, and secondary color. Now we need to add a border radius style to these buttons, and I'm gonna add here first a border radius, and here I'm going to add here the style tag. I'm gonna pass here the style tag and scoped. Scoped means that the CSS it is going to work only within the Kaban border view page. And here I'm going to pass here this Isanis class, and then we're gonna get access to buttons, and then I'm gonna say border radius. We're gonna pass here 50 pixel, like this. And then if we have a look, we're gonna pass here border radius 50 pixel. Isanis, this is the class right here, Isanis. And then right here, you're going to change the button border radius 50 pixel. Let me try to refresh. And then right here, you can see we have a little border. Now we are going to increase the width of our buttons. And here I'm gonna say the width, we're gonna add a little width. We're gonna add there maybe 50 pixel, and let's try to see what we get. Now we're gonna pass it even 30 pixel. 30 pixel. Yeah, 30 pixel is more. I'm gonna pass here 40 pixel. Yeah, you're going to see right now. Now we need to move these buttons together close to the first button, which is the primary color. And I'm going to pass here, I'm going to say this, the first button, I'm gonna add a class. I'm gonna say member underscore, I'm gonna say 1, and then here I'm going to do member underscore 2 and member underscore 3. Yeah, like this. And then I'm going to add this type. I'm going to do this here. Isanis. I'm gonna add this type for the first member, and then for the second member, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, this like this, and then I'm going to remove. I'm gonna move our second member close to the first member. I'm going to do this. I'm gonna say margin left. I'm going to pass here even minus 20 pixel, and then you're going to see what we get. I'm gonna pass here, let me pass here the position, say relative left. I'm gonna pass here 20 pixel. Yeah, let's check. We're gonna pass here minus, let me add here minus 20 pixel, and then it doesn't work. Let me try to check right here, member 2, and then I'm gonna add here position relative left. We're gonna pass here this, yeah, this in order to work. Yeah, you can see right here we got right here the second member getting to the first member, you can see. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna add a little border. I'm gonna say border, we're gonna pass here 1 pixel solid gray like this. Yeah, to our buttons, and then we're gonna pass here 10 pixel minus 10 pixel, and then you're going to see right now it is clear, things are clear right here. And then I'm gonna move the third member. I'm gonna move this one right here to the third member. I'm going to copy the same code and do this. The third member we're gonna do pass here third. Yeah, like this. We're gonna move it close to the second member. We're gonna pass minus 20 pixel like this, and it is going to work. Minus 20 pixel. Yeah, like this, guys. And here you can see we got 3 SNEs. Now we need to add. You can see we doesn't have the padding. It doesn't have a margin right here. We're going to add a little margin. And then right now I'm gonna copy this. I'm going to copy this car. I'm gonna copy it. And then you're going to see right now it doesn't have any margin. And then I'm gonna add here another class. I'm gonna say task car, and then I'm gonna pass it right here, and we are going to add a little CSS to it. Pass it task car, and then I'm gonna say board. I'm gonna pass it the padding to 10 pixel. Let me check and see what we get in browser. Yeah, padding 10 pixel, and then we're gonna pass the margin. We're gonna say margin top. We're gonna pass it 5 pixel, and then you're going to see right now we got a little space, and then I'm gonna say margin top. We're gonna pass it even 7 pixel to make things a little bit clean. Now, guys, we need to add background color for each column for now started, pending, and completed, and to make things clean. And here, guys, you can see right now we got now started class right here. We're going to add the background for that, and we're going to say background color. We are going to pass it this color right here. Let's try to check. You can see this color is beautiful, and then we need to add to the color for pending and completed. Now for completed, now let's try to copy another class right here, pending task. We're gonna add the color to, yeah, the background color. I'm gonna copy this, and then we're going to add another color. I'm gonna add this one right here, and let's try to see. It is not a good color. I'm gonna try to change. I'm gonna move right here. Yeah, I'm gonna pick this one, and this one, it is not good at all. Let me try to move up here. Yeah, there. Yeah, like this. And then for the completed, we're gonna let it to be white color. And then you can see right now we got 3 columns: not started, pending, and completed. The background color is white. Now let's add a draggable attribute to this car right here. You can see right now we don't have the possibility to move this task from not started to pending. You can see right now we doesn't have the possibility to move it, to drag it. And right here we're gonna add here a class, a draggable attribute. We're gonna say draggable true. Draggable, we're gonna say draggable true, and then we can have the possibility to move this car. You can see, yeah, we have right now the possibility to move it from not started to pending. And then, guys, you're going to notice that the Kaban board view page is growing a bit every time we are adding things in it. And we're going to format, we're going to refactor this component. We're going to copy. You're going to see right now we got not started div. You're going to see we got pending task div and completed task div. We are going to wrap all of that within a component. I'm gonna copy this, and within the component folder, I'm gonna say not started, and then I'm gonna pass in the template tag and press it in the content and format this document. And I'm gonna get into the Kaban board view and import that. I'm gonna do import like this, and then I'm gonna pass it right here. Yeah, right here, not started. And then I'm gonna do the same thing from pending, and I say pending column, and then I'm gonna pass in this, and I'm gonna import it right here like this. And then also we're going to do for the same thing for our, we're gonna pass here pending column, and I'm gonna copy this pending column, and then do the same thing for the completed column. Let's say completed column, the view, and then within it you're gonna pass in the template and import the components. And then we're gonna have a component which is clean. You're going to see right now we get a component which is clean. Now we need to add something. You're going to see right now we can have the possibility to drag our column. You can see, and then we're going to remove this attribute scoped in order to apply our CSS. Yeah, we have the possibility to move this task from started to pending. Alright guys, now let's work on the add task model. We want, when we click on this yellow button, we want a model to pop up. And I'm not getting to the component folder within the Kaban board folder. I'm not creating a component. I'm gonna say AddTaskModal.vue, and I have a boilerplate of a model. I'm not copy it and press it in the add task model. And right here, you're going to see right here, I'm gonna first comment this. You're going to see I'm not comment the define props function, but also I'm not comment these two. And right here, you're going to see we have an event close model. This event, when it's going to be emitted, we are going to close our model. And here, guys, we have right here the base input. I'm not first comment this, and then I'm not import this model within the Kaban board view page. Right here, I need to import it. I'm gonna pass here import add task model from components. And again to the component for add task model, and then I'm gonna pass it right here. I pass it above the breadcrumb, and then we are going to pop our model. And in order to pop our model, we have to copy some code, some JavaScript code. And I'm not getting to the util.ts file here within the helper folder. I'm not copying this code. And right here, you're going to see we got a function, open model, and it returns a promise. We're going to pass it the ID of the model that we want to open, the attributes. You're going to see within the add task model right here, we got this. We got right here, you can see task model. We're going to pass the name of the model. And let me first remove that. I'm going to pass it right here. We're going to pass it the ID of the model. And then I'm not getting to my Kaban board again, this page, and I'm not creating a function. Function open, I'll say function open model, and then I'm gonna call this function within the util.ts. It returns a promise, open model, and then I'm gonna pass it right here. Yeah, like this. I'm gonna pass it, and then you're going to see it returns a promise. I need to import it, and right now I'm gonna say open task model, and then we need to import this function, and then we're gonna pass it an element. Yeah, it is string, and then I'm gonna say this function, it is an asynchronous function, open task model, and then you're going to see right now we need to import it from util.ts file, and then we are going to open the model. And as it is a promise, we're gonna say that then we're gonna pass it a callback, gonna say console.log model open. model open like this now, and then we're gonna try to pass this function open task model to our button. You're going to see this button, the yellow button, is located within the not started column components. We're gonna go ahead and get into the not started column component of view, and right here we're gonna define an event. We're gonna pass here first the script, and then we're gonna define an event, define emit like this, and then we're going to pass here the events. We're gonna say here the event is going to open the model, yeah, and it is a promise, text void promise like this, and then this event we are going to emit it. We're going to pass it to this button right here, add task, and then we're going to say click. When we're going to click on it, we are going to emit this event, open task model like this. Yeah, we're going to create right here constant emit like this, yeah, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the Kaban view page, and we're going to pass it to not started column components. We're going to pass it this event, and then we are going to assign it this function in order to pop our model, and then I'm going to pass it right there. And then let's try to get into the browser and see if we're going to open our model. Yeah, I'm going to refresh. We're getting an error. Let's try to fix it. Yeah, the URL, open model.url. Let me fix it. Let me try to fix this error. You're gonna pass here this one, remove these semicolons, these quotes, and then we are going to open our model. Yeah, and then I'm gonna click on add task. Yeah, you're going to see the model pop up, and right here you can see we got our model, and then we are going to emit another event, close model. When we are going to click on this button here where we got a cross sign, we are going to close our model, and we are going to create another function right here, close task model, and we are going to call, we're going to go within the url.ts file. We got a function right here, close model. Yeah, I'm gonna copy it and get into the Kaban view page, and I'm going to pass here the attribute of the model that we want to close. I'm gonna pass here task model and import this close model function, and then we're gonna pass it to our add task model. We are going to emit it. Pass here close model, and then I'm gonna go ahead close model. You're going to see if you get into the add task model, you're going to see right here just define an event, close model. We are going to emit it, and then when we are going to click on this button right here, close model, and then the model, it is going to be closed. And then I'm gonna click again add task. Yeah, the model pop up, and then I can close the model. Now the next thing we need to do is to add here the form that is going to allow us enter the name of the task that we need to attribute to a given project. And then here I'm gonna get into the add task model, and right here I'm gonna uncomment this. I'm gonna remove this. We're gonna pass here the error component, and we're gonna use the base inputs, yeah, like this. And then here we are going to create right here an input for that. Right now I'm going to create a store. I'm gonna say here within the Kaban board, I'm going to create in a store. I'm gonna say Kaban store, and I'll pass here Kaban store.ts, and then I'm gonna get into the member folder and copy the content within our member store.ts. I'm gonna copy it and get into the Kaban board, the Kaban store.ts, and press in the content and try to change things. Right here, if you take a look to our endpoints, let me get into first the API.php. We are going to hit this endpoint / task create task. And if I get into the task controller, you're going to see right here, let me show you, we are going to send the name of the task that we want to create, the name, the project ID, but also the member's ID, because we can assign multiple members to a given task. Now we're gonna get into our Kaban store.ts, and we're going to define the input. We're gonna say export type, and then we're gonna say right here, let me first get into right here. You can see we got the actions folder. I'm not creating another file. I'm gonna say create task.ts, and within this file I'm not creating a type. I'm gonna say export type create create task input, and then it is going to be it is going to have the name property, the name, the members, the members ID, and it is going to be an array of ID. We're gonna pass here number, but also we're gonna pass it the project ID, say number, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the Kaban store.ts, and we're gonna type our input right here. We're gonna say task input, and then we are going to change the name of the store. We're gonna say it's going to be task. I'm gonna say use task store, and then we're gonna click on replace all, and then we're gonna say the name of the store. It is going to be task, and right here we're gonna pass here task store, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into the add task model. I'm gonna get into the component folder and get into the add task model, the view, and then I'm gonna import the task store. I'm gonna import it, and then we are going to pass it to our input. Right here you can see we got the error base input. We're gonna say base input dot task input that's name, like this, and then but also we are going to comment first this. We are going to remove the loading. Right now the loading we're gonna pass it false, and then we need to add validation. We're gonna copy this, and I'm gonna pass here for the validation. I'm gonna uncomment this, and then we're gonna pass here task store, and here I'm gonna pass here task store, and then we're gonna pass here the name of the task, like this, but also we need to add the validation right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the create member.view page, and I'm gonna copy this code right here. I'm gonna copy this property of the error component, and then get into the add task model and move to this component right here. We got a component, the error component. I'm gonna pass it, and then I'm gonna say right here for the label it is task name, and then like this. It doesn't have any issue, but right here we're getting an issue. You can see on the model we got an input. Right now I'm going to remove the search, this events search member. We haven't yet implemented, and we got the query right here. We got the query up here. We're gonna use it in order to look for a given member. And then that's all, guys. Now let's try to check within the browser what we get, and I'm gonna refresh again, and then let's see what we have here. Element is missing an end tag. We're gonna add it, and right here we got an error. We are going to add an end tag, this, and then the error, it is going to disappear. Now I'm gonna click again, add task, and then you're going to see right now, right here we got task name field. We're gonna use it in order to create a task, and I'm gonna add a little space right here, and I'm gonna copy that. And pass it right here. I'm gonna pass it right here, and then it is going to work. You can see we got task name, but I'm going to remove it. I'm gonna remove the label. The label is going to be empty, and then I'm going to say for this, the button is we're gonna pass here a placeholder. I'm gonna say task name, like this, and then right here the button, like this. You can see right now we got the button right here, and we are going to pass here selected members. When we are going to click right here add, we're gonna select, we're gonna add here, we're gonna show up right here selected member that we can attribute to a given task. Right now we need to get members. We need to populate our table right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and get into the members folder. Within the members folder, you're going to see you got actions folder. And we're gonna use the get member.ts action in order to display members. I'm not getting to first the member page, and I'm going to copy this composable use get member. I'm gonna copy this and get into the Kaban board view page, and I'm gonna pass it right here, and then I'm going to import it and use it in order to populate our table. I'm gonna get into first. You're going to see if you get into the use get member composable, you can see this is the type. This is the type, get member type, and I'm gonna use it and get into the AddTaskModal, and you're going to see right here we got a table. Let me do this. Right here we got a table. We got a table right here, and we need to pass this table data. And I'm going to and then we're going to loop through this members property. And I'm gonna go to our table right here, and then right here we're gonna pass here v4 directive. Let's say member in members data like this, and then we're gonna pass here the key. It is going to be member.id, and then we're gonna display the member ID right here, member ID, but also the member name, and also for the button we're gonna let it right now. We are not going to touch on this button. And then we are going to move within the Kaban board view, and we're gonna call this function get members. And you can see it takes a parameter. The first one, it is the page, and the second one, the query. We're gonna pass here first for the page. We are going to say right now for the page, we are going to pass it 1, and then for the query empty. And also you can see we got an error right here. TypeScript underlines task model. Say that we need to pass it data members. You can see we just defined this property within the AddTaskModal. I'm gonna copy this and pass it right here like this, members. And then you can see right here just extract member data. I'm gonna copy this and pass it to this property, and the error, it is going to disappear. Now we need also, you're going to see right here, we just pass data to our AddTaskModal. If I get into the model and open this model, I'm gonna refresh again, and then we're getting an error. I'm not getting to the console in order to fix that. And here, let us move to the console, and right here you're going to see we're getting an error, cannot read property of undefined AddTaskModal. AddTaskModal, it seems that we are getting undefined, and I'm gonna add this data, this option. I'm gonna use optional chaining to get rid of the error. And you can see right here, TypeScript infers the second data that it is a type of member type array. And then I'm gonna refresh again and to see if we are going to get the same error. And then yeah, I'm gonna get into the console again. Now right now it doesn't get any error, and then I'm going to open our model. I'm gonna open the model, and then you're going to see right now we are getting data. Yeah, we just populate our table. You can see we got Chris, John, and Ben. All right, guys, now let's work on this button add. We need to show up all members that we just selected. And I'm gonna get into the action folder and creating select member.ts file. And I'm gonna create right here compose. I'm gonna say use select member. And then I'm going to create in a function select member. And then this select member function, we're gonna pass it the member. We're gonna pass here the member that we just selected, and we're gonna type it with member type. And if we get into within our add task model, you're gonna see right here, guys, that right here, when we're gonna pass our function select member, we're gonna pass it the type of member type. And right here, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna create right here an array of members that we just selected. I'm gonna say const selected members, and then we're gonna pass it to ref, and then we're going to say it is going to be an array of member. We're gonna say member type, and then yeah, like this. We need also to import the ref, and right here I'm gonna try to check first if within the member doesn't have a given member. I'm going to do this const exists, and then I'm gonna do selected members that value, and then that filter is to pass here the member, and then I'm gonna say if the member that ID is equal to the selected member. Right here I'm gonna pass here the selected member. I'm gonna pass here, I'm gonna say member Adam, and then I'm going to do this. I'm gonna check if within these selected members we got a member that we just selected. We are going to return an array right here. It's going to return an array. If it's equal to 0, we're gonna select a member. If it's equal to 0, we're gonna select a member. Else, we're gonna say show error. We're gonna say you have already selected this member. We're gonna get this message. And then right here, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna do this selected members that push, that value, that push. We're gonna push in an object. We're gonna pass in the ID of the member, the name, member, that's name, but also the email. Yeah, like this. And then we are going to select this member. And we need also to return this function. We need to return the selected members array, but also the select member function. Yeah, like this. You can see right here we got selected members. It is an array. I'm gonna pass it right here, and select member is a function. I'm gonna go ahead and get into our components within the add task model, and here I'm going to do this const. I'm gonna pass here const select member function, and then we are going to extract it from the Unselect member composable, and then we are going to import it. I'm gonna pass it right here. And then here we need also to extract the selected members array. And here we're gonna pass our function to this button. Right here, I'm gonna pass here. When we're gonna click on this button, we are going to call this function. We're gonna pass it the member. And then here, guys, we need to display all selected members. Right here, within this div, selected members. And then here, I'm going to pass here a span. And then I'm going to do v4, and then member in selected members. We're going to pass here a key, and then member.id, and then we're going to display the member.name. Yeah, like this, guys. And then right here, like this. Now we need to add here another span. Right here, I'm going to add here a little span. And then I'm gonna get into the browser and refresh again and see what we get. Now I'm gonna open my model, and then you can see we got right here all members. And then I'm gonna click add. You can see we just select Chris. I'm gonna click again John. We just select John and Ben. Yeah, you can see we just list right here all our selected members. And then I'm gonna add a CSS right here. You can see selected members. We need to display them in a row way. And right here, I'm going to do this. Right here, selected members that we're gonna pass here the div. I'm going to pass here, instead of a div, I'm gonna pass here a span tag. Span, and right here a span tag. And then here, I'm gonna pass in a button. Yeah, I'm gonna pass here the span. and then we are going to pass here this. You're going to see we just display all our members. But what I'm going to do right here, we got a little span right here. I'm going to pass it span.b. I'm gonna pass it a bold tag like this. Yeah, bold tag, and then let's have a look again. And then right here you can see we just selected Chris, John, and Ben. Now we need to have here a little star. We need to change the cursor. And right here we're gonna say cursor. Cursor is going to be pointer. I'm gonna pass it right here, and say the padding is going to be of 5 pixel, and the margin is going to be 2 pixel. Now like this. Yeah, like this, and then let's try to check. Yeah, you're going to see right now we are getting an end instead of an arrow. When we are going to click on this member, we need to unselect this member. Now guys, we need to work on another feature, unselected member. We need, when we click on a given member, we need to unselect him. We need to remove him from the selected array. And I'm not getting to our composer. We use select member and create another function unselect member. And we're gonna pass it the member ID, the ID of the member that we want to remove from the selected members array. We're gonna pass here number, and then here we're gonna say const filtered members, and then we're going to pass. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it right here, and then I'm gonna say this: if we just found this member of this ID, we are going to return an array which doesn't contain this member. And here I'm going to do this. I'm not do this. Selected members that's value is equal to filtered members array, like this. And then we are going to unselect a given member. I'm gonna pass here this, and then I'm gonna get into our AddTaskModal, and right here we need to extract to this function. We're gonna pass it right here, and then we're gonna pass here the member ID like this. And then we're gonna get into the browser and try to test if everything is going to work as expected. And right now I'm gonna refresh again, and then we're gonna get this. Right now we got the members. I'm gonna select 3 members, and then I'm gonna click on Ben. You're going to see Ben disappear. They just removed Ben from selected members array. Now we need to send this data to the server. And first of all, I'm gonna copy the task tool. We're gonna make a debug. We're going to try to debug something. And here you can see we just got the button add task, and then we're gonna add this task tool right here. We're gonna do, and then task input like this, and then we are going to see right here we need to pass, it is an empty object. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can see it is an empty object. We need to pass it the ID of a project and the name of a given task. Right here, if I pass here the name of the task, you can see that we just pass the name of the task that we need to send from the server. And also we need to pass it the project ID. And here what I'm going to do is, when we open our model, we're going to pass to our task store that task input, we're going to pass it the project ID. And I'm going to get into the Kaban board view page, and here when the model it is going to open, I'm going to do task store. Let me first, I'm gonna first import this store. I'm gonna first import task store, and then here I'm going to do the projects and the projects ID. We're gonna pass here the project ID, because right here we got a variable which returns the project ID. You're gonna assign it the project ID when we're gonna open our model. And if you try to open again the model, you're going to see right here, when I'm going to click right here, I can just pass the name of the task, but also you're gonna see right here, we have here the project ID. Now we need to pass here members. When we just select a given member, we need to add him. to add the ID of the selected member within the members property array. And I'm gonna go ahead and get into the select member.ts file. And here I'm going to do task store that's task inputs, and then I'm going to do this. We're going to get access to members ID. It is an array, and then we're gonna push in the ID. We're gonna do push, and then we're gonna pass in the member ID. And then right here, when we just remove a member from the selected array, we are going to iterate. We are going to do this. We are going to iterate through the members ID array. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna pass here. I'm gonna create an array. And then if we found the member with this ID, we are going to remove him. We're going to say different from the member ID like this. And again, right here, we are getting an error. We're going to do member that task that value that members ID that filter, and we're going to pass here. It's going to be the member ID. I'm gonna say right here is going to be the ID of the member. Yeah, like this. Yeah, we're gonna remove this item. Let me pass here this item, and then we're going to remove this ID. It is going to be different from the member ID. And then we're going to pass here. We're going to do task store that task inputs is equal to this filtered members ID array. We are going to do members ID, and then we're going to assign it this array. And it is an array of numbers and it doesn't get any error. And before we test this code, guys, I'm gonna try to initialize our array to an empty array. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the dashboard, the Kaban board view page. And when we just open our model, I'm going to say, I'm gonna try to initialize the members ID to an empty array. Now let's open it. I'm not open, and then you're going to see we just pass here the selected ID, the selected projects. We got the ID of the selected projects and the members ID. It is an empty array. I'm gonna click on Chris. You can see we got the ID of the Chris within this array. I'm gonna pass John and Ben. And if I try to remove a given member, you can see we just remove it to within this array. Now we need to send this data to the server. And I'm gonna go ahead here. I'm going to, within the create task.ts, it is empty. We haven't yet create an action. Yeah, I'm not copy the code. I'm not getting to the create member.ts. I'm not copy the content within it. And then I'm gonna paste it within the create task right here. I'm gonna paste it right here. And then I'll change the function use create task. And we need to import the ref, but also we're gonna pass, you're gonna say right here, we're gonna await. We are going to pass here make HTTP request. I'm gonna get into again the create member.ts, and I'm gonna copy that. Let me copy that and get into our create task.ts and pass it right here. And then we're going to send our data. We're gonna pass here the endpoints that we need to hit. Let's try to see it. The endpoint is task, and then it is going to be the method create task. And here I'm going to pass here, right here we need to pass here the input is create task input. I'm gonna pass it right here, and also we are going to pass here task store that task input, and then here we're gonna pass here the return tab is a message. We're gonna say the return tab is going to be a message, and we are going to pass here task. This is the endpoint. The HTTP verb is post, and we're gonna remove all of that. I'm gonna get rid of all of that, this and this, and we need to import the success function. We are going to return the create task function, create task, but also the loading property. And then I'm gonna pass it right here, and I'm gonna get into the task model, and here within the task add task model right here, I'm going to call this function right here. You're gonna say function, you're gonna pass here, we're going to extract, we're we need first to import the use create task. I'm gonna import it, and then here I'm going to pass here loading and then create task, and then here we are going to create a function, a sync function submit task, and then we are going to try to check first the validation, and then if the validation it is okay, we're gonna create a task. We're gonna pass here wait, and then we're gonna check if the validation is okay. We're going to do anything. We're gonna return undefined. If the validation doesn't work, we're gonna return undefined. Else we're gonna create a task. We're gonna pass here await create task like this, and we're going to call this function submit task. We're gonna pass it right there and copy and append this function to the form tag. And that's it, guys. But also the loading, we're gonna pass it to our base backend. Right here we got the base backend, and right, yeah, that's it. Right here we're gonna pass it the loading. But also, guys, before we test this code right here, I'm gonna add a little check. I'm gonna try to test. I'm gonna pass it the task store and task input members, that's members ID. We're going to try to check if a user has selected a member. We're gonna say if the members that length is greater than 0, we are going to create a member. Else we are going to show a message, show error. We're gonna say please select a member, and then I'm gonna create a member. I'm gonna create a task, and after that, but also we need to initialize this array. We're gonna initialize it, and also we are going to initialize the task input name. We're gonna initialize to empty, and we're gonna cap to the validation right here. We are going to invoke the reset function. Now this code is ready. Now we can get into the browser and click on the yellow button, create a member, create a task. And then I can, if I click on add task, and see the validation, it is working pretty well. I'm gonna pass here and I say create the menu. This is the task, and I'm gonna try to create a task. I'm gonna click on add. You can see we are getting right here a message, please select a member. And then I'm gonna select Chris and John, and I'm gonna click add. And then we're going to create a member. You can see we got a message, task created successfully. We can create another task. I'm gonna say implement cache using Redis, and then I can select a member Ben, and then I'm gonna click on add task, and then we can create another task. Now let's add the debug function to our search form. You can see right now we don't have the possibility to search for a member. You can see it doesn't work. And I'm gonna go ahead and get into the Kaban border view, and you can see the function get members. We are going to pass it. We're going to get into the add task model, and we're gonna add here another event. We are going to emit it when we're gonna tap within the search form. And right here, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna say here, I'm gonna pass it right here and say the first parameter, it is going to be a number, and the second one is going to be the query, and it returns a promise. I'm gonna pass a promise, and it returns empty. And here I'm going to call this function. Right here you can see we got the query variable, and I'm gonna create another function right here under this submit task function. I'm gonna say right here, I'm gonna say const search member, and then we're gonna call our my debounce function. We need to call it debounce, yeah, like this, and then we're going to pass it an asynchronous function. We're gonna say async function, and then here we are going to emit this get members, and we're gonna pass it first the page. It's going to be 1, and for the query we're gonna pass it query that value, and we're gonna say after 2 milliseconds we are going to launch the search member query to the server. And then we're gonna copy this function search member, and we're gonna pass it to this search form right here. We're gonna pass it right here. You can see we got the best inputs right here. You can see search a member. We're gonna pass it right here on key up, on key down. We're gonna call search member function, and also we need to comment this code right here. Let me task store that input. we were using it for debugging purpose. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get into the Kaban board, and right here we're going to emit this event AddTaskModal. We're gonna pass it to this component, and then it is going to work. And I'm gonna click on add task, and then you can see right now I can search Ben. You can see when I'm type Ben, I'm gonna get right here Ben. You can see I have the possibility to look for a member. Alright guys, now we're gonna display all our tasks that has been returned by our endpoint within the Kaban board. And here guys, you can see that our Kaban board has 3 columns. The first one is pending, is not started. We're gonna pass within the first column all tasks that is not started column. And then you can see we got pending column. We're gonna pass in all tasks that is pending status. And for completed column, we're gonna pass in task that is completed column, and so on, guys. Now here, what we are going to do, we are going to iterate through this task array right here. It is task, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into the Get projects details.types.ts. You can see right here, I've already put in an enum type, and these are free status that a given task can have within our system. We got free status, not status, value 0, pending, and completed. And then if we take a look within our Kaban board view file, right here you can see we got 3 components: not started column, pending column, and completed column. We're gonna use this file. Let me show you. We're gonna use these tabs that we have right here in order to display a given task within a specific column. We are going to play with this status. And then guys, I'm gonna get into first, I'm gonna copy this type right here and get into the not started column. I'm gonna defining a prop. I'm gonna say define props, and then we're gonna say project data, and then here we're gonna type it with the single project response type, and we are going to import it. And right here guys, you can see right here we got two div, and we got 2 divs. I'm not getting rid of the second one, and for the first one I'm not displaying data, I'm not displaying task. I'm going to use v4. We're gonna do v4, and then we're gonna say task. We're gonna pass it task in project data that task, like this guys, and then we're gonna pass here the key. Let's say task.id, but also we are going to display here the task name, and then here guys, you're gonna see right here we got a free assignees. We're going to display here total number of members that has been attributed to a given project. And here guys, you can see we got free assignees. We're going to pass here total number of members that has been attributed to a given task. And then here we're gonna do task members array. It is an array. If it over, you're gonna see it is an array. TypeScript infers it to be an array of this type. And then here guys, we're gonna pass here for the backend. We are going to extract the character from the name of a given member. Let's say right here you can see we got right here, let me show you, we got here a member. Let's say for the task we got Ben. Right here you can see you got Ben, and we are going to display B for the character. We're gonna pass here B, and for that task I'm gonna use this function. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the util.ts file. I'm gonna pass in this function getChar. We're gonna use this function in order to extract a single character from a string. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get into this component, now start column.view, and then I'm gonna pass it right here, getChar, and then I'm gonna use v4. I'm going to loop through this array, through the task array. I'm gonna say task, I'm gonna pass here member, in task members, like this guys. And then we are going to pass here the member, the key, and then we're gonna do member.id. And here we're gonna pass to our getChar function, we're gonna pass it the member.name, like this. And then we're going to import the getChar function. I'm gonna go up here and import that function. I'm gonna pass it right here. And then guys, if we go within the get project detail.tabs.ts5, we are going to use right now the task status enum tag. We are going to use it in order to decide if we should display a given task within a column, within a specified column. And then I'm gonna move within the now started column. And right here, I'm gonna pass here the visual directive, and then I'm gonna do task.status is equal, like this, is equal to task status, and then not started, like this, not started properly. And then I'm going to import to this task status enum type. And we are going to do, if the task status is equal to 0, we are going to display this div. We're going to say true, else false, like this. And then here you can see right here, we're going to pass here we're getting an error. I'm going to pass here member, like this, member that members that's name, like this, guys. Yeah, if you take a look to our endpoints, you can see right here we are iterating through the members array, and then we do members that's name. This is how we get access to the name. And then here, guys, you can see now we got two buttons right here, and each button has a class member underscore one. And if we get into the Kaban board right here, you're gonna see right here we got the style for the button member underscore 2, and we pass it the position of relative and left minus 10 pixel. And for the second button 2, and for the button which has the status of which have the member underscore free class, we pass it the left position is 20 pixel minus 20 pixel. And then here, what I'm going to do, guys, here I'm going to pass here the index. We're going to do this. We're going to pass here the index, and then we're going to do style padding, but also I need to select. I'm going to start from the underscore all the way to the btn. And then here I'm going to add here a plus to do concatenation, and here index. And here what we are going to get in the DOM, this is what it's going to look like. Let me show it you guys. Here it is going to be like this, 0 and then 0. I'm gonna copy this 0 and then 1, 2, and so on, guys. And now here we are going to display only. We're going to start by 0, 1, 2. And here, guys, if we get into the Kaban border view, we got the style. We got the style right here, assignees, and members, the member underscore 2. This is the class that has been attributed to the second button. And right here, I'm going to change that. I'm going to pass here 1. And then we're going to do the design for the second button, 2. And here, if we get into the now static calendar view, you're going to see for the first button right here, they are not going to apply the CSS. But for the second button, a CSS will be applied to this button. Yeah, like this. And then if we get into the browser, but first of all, we need to pass to our component right here. We need to pass it data. We're going to pass it project data like this. And then we're going to do project data. Now, we can try to test this because we already finished. I'm going to get into the browser, and right here, I'm going to refresh, and then we're going to see the results. And then, guys, you can see we're getting data right here. We have to make a little, we pass here. We just display an array of members. We're going to pass here. You can see right here, we do task members. We're going to pass here dot length like this. And then we're going to display the total number of persons, total number of members that has been attributed to this task. And let's see what we get. Yeah, you can see right here, the second button, it is close to the first button. You can see right now we're getting right here 2 assignees. For the create the menu task, we got 2 assignees. And for the latest task, implement the cache using Redis, we got 1 assignees, guys. Now, what we are going to do, you can see right now, right here to these buttons, it doesn't display right here characters because let me show you, because we have right here a member. Let me show you. You can see right here we got the members property. It is now. That's why we are getting right here. It doesn't have here characters because of this. And then guys, what we are going to do right now, we are going to display pending task. We're gonna go ahead and get into this column. I'm not getting the now started column. And then what I'm going to do within this component, I'm going to copy this div right here. I'm gonna copy this div and I'm gonna move it within the pending column, the view component. And right here, I'm gonna pass it right here. And then here, I'm gonna move again within the not started column, the view component, and then I'm gonna copy the script tag and move it to the pending column, the view. We're gonna pass it right here. And we're gonna remove this event. And right here, we're gonna say here, we're gonna check for the check, we're gonna say pending. We're gonna pass it pending. If the task is equal to pending, we're gonna display it within the pending column. And we're gonna say true else false. And then here, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna copy all of that and get into, I'm gonna copy only this div right here, and then I'm gonna move it within the completed column. I'm gonna copy all of that, and then I'm gonna get into the completed column, the view, and paste it right here. And but also I'm gonna copy to the script tag. I'm gonna get into again the completed column, the view, and paste it right here. Paste it right here and remove the event. And for the check, for the visual, we're gonna check right here. We're gonna pass here completed, and then we just finish, and then there we go. And after that, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get into the Kaban board and pass the pending column components data. Right here, we're gonna pass it. I'm gonna copy this and pass it to the pending column, but also for the completed column. And then the error, it is going to disappear. Now we're gonna go ahead and try to test. You can see right here, right now we just display pending task. Right here you can see create the UI, but also we got completed task, fix the bug in the UI. Now the next thing to do, guys, now we need to add drag and drop functionality. We need to move a task from not started to pending, from pending to completed, and so on, guys, and from completed to pending. All right, guys, now let's interact with the drag and drop API. And here, guys, we're gonna add a border on the pending column where we're gonna drag a specific task from not started to pending. And then we're gonna show up a dashed border. Let me show you how it is going to look like. And first of all, I'm gonna get into the pending column, the view component, and right here I'm gonna add a class of it like this, and get into the Kaban border view and pass this CSS code right there. And then you can see we just pass it border 2 pixel dashed, and also border radius 5 pixels. And here, if we get into the browser, you're gonna see we just apply a dashed border around the pending column. And we're gonna show up this border when we're gonna try to move a task from not started to pending or from pending to completed. We're gonna show up this border. And then, guys, I'm gonna get into the drag within the actions folder. You got drag task.ts. And here I'm not defining a composer. I'm not say export function use drag task like this, use drag task like this. And then the first task that we're gonna create, the first function that we're gonna create is to move a task from not started to pending. And then we're gonna pass it the task ID. It is going to be a number. And then we are going to return this function. We're gonna say return from, we're gonna return from not started to pending. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get into the Kaban border view file, and then I'm gonna import the use drag task composable, and I'm gonna pass it right here and then import it. And then we are going to extract our function from not started to pending. And then here, guys, you can see we got a component not started column. this is the components. I'm not getting to within these components, and I'm not defining an event. And within the NASTAD column component view, and right here, I'm not define another event. I'm not pass here this event. I'm not say not start from not started to pending. We are going to call this function when we try to move a task from not started to pending, and then we're going to pass it the task ID, and it is going to be a number. And also we are going to emit it. You can see right here we got a div. This is the car, and here I'm not on drag events, we're gonna emit this function. We're gonna call from now started to pending, and here we're gonna pass here the task ID like this, guys. And here we're gonna add a class that is going to allow us to select a specific task within the not started column. And this class is, we're gonna say not started task like this. Underscore, we're gonna pass here plus the task that ID like this. And then I'm not use binding, and then I'm not select from the underscore all the way to the car, and then like this. I'm not getting to the drag task, the TS file, and I'm not create right here constant. I'm not say const not started task, and then I'm going to document that query selector, and then we're gonna pass it. We're gonna select the class not started, and then we're gonna pass it to the task that ID. And then you can see we got another column. We got the pending column. You can see it is the pending class. I'm gonna select it and get into drag that TS file, and within this file, guys, here I'm going to say I'm not creating a constant again. I'm gonna say pending. I'm gonna pass here pending column, and then we're gonna say document that query selector, and then we're gonna pass here this class pending task. And then, guys, we're gonna add some events to the pending column variable right here, and these are events that we're gonna add. The first one is the drag start events, and these events allow add drag and drop operation to be done within the browser. And you can see we got the second event, drag over. We're gonna use this event when we're gonna try to move a task from our started to pending. We're gonna find the drag over events. But also we got the drag leave. We're gonna find too when we just cancel the drag and drop operation. But also you can see the drop event. It is going to be filed when we're gonna drop a task from not started to pending, or from pending to completed. This event, it is going to be filed, the drop event. Now here, guys, if you get into the pending column, here you can see we got the overt. We got overt right here, the overt class. I'm not getting to the browser. You're gonna see right here our pending column is surrounded by a dashboard. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna remove it first and get into the drag task, the TS file, and we're gonna pass it to the drag over events. And here what I'm going to do, I'm gonna pass to the pending column, I'm gonna add a class, and then we're gonna do that class name, we're gonna pass it the overt class. And then, guys, when we're gonna do drag leave, on drag leave, we're gonna do pending column, that's class list that remove. We're gonna remove the overt class. But also on drag drop, we're gonna remove this class. And here I'm gonna add another event right here, another action right here. We are going to say this. On drag drop, when we just drag a task from a column to another column, we're gonna do pending column that append. We're gonna append a task. I'm gonna pass this not started right here, and then I'm gonna pass it to the append function. And also, guys, you can see right here I'm gonna create a constant. I'm gonna say let a variable let is dragged, and then I'm gonna assign it the value of false, because these drag over events fire so many operation within the browser. If it doesn't make a check, your browser can even plant. And here I'm going to do this. If is dragged is false, we're gonna do this operation, and then here we're gonna do is dragged. Right here we are going to pass here is dragged again is true. Yeah, we're gonna do this, and then once we just drag a task from a column to another column, we're gonna say is dragged true. And then if we do drag leave, we're gonna assign it false. We're gonna pass here false. And then here on drag drop, we're gonna assign it false too. And then here false, and here true. Now let's get into the browser and see if it is going to work. But first of all, I'm gonna get into the Kaban board view components. And here, guys, you can see just extract from now started to pending function from the use drag task composable. And then this function, we are going to call it, because within the now started column, we got an event right here. You can see we have defined an event from now started to pending. And then it takes the task ID. Now we need to call it on drag event right here. You're gonna see we got on drag events. Now I'm gonna get into the Kaban board view, and then here I'm gonna pass this function. Yeah, like this, from now started to pending. And then here, guys, you're gonna see when I'm going to try to move a task from now started to pending, you're going to see they just apply the dashboard around the pending column. And then I'm gonna drop this task. You can see we just drop, drag and drop. It is working pretty well, guys. We can drop a task from now started to pending. It is working completely. And then we are going to implement another event. We are going to drop a task from pending to completed. This is the second operation, guys. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get into the drag task.ts file, and I'm going to duplicate that. You can see right here we got this code. Let me show you this code. I'm going to copy all of that, and then I'm gonna paste it right here. And then I'm gonna change the name of the function. You can see right here we got from now started to pending. Right now we're gonna say from pending to completed. This is the second event, like this. And then I'm gonna go and get into again within the pending column. We're gonna define an event, and right here we're gonna say define. We're gonna say const emit, and here we're gonna pass this event. We're gonna say it is going to take the task ID promise, and then we're gonna pass here two parentheses in order to get rid of the error. And then here, guys, we just define an event, and then here you can see we got draggable true, and then I'm gonna add the drag event that is going to be called and from pending to completed within the pending column, pending task column, and then I'm gonna do emit. Now we're gonna move again within the drag task.ts file, and then we're going to return this function. We're going to pass it right here. We're going to return it from pending to completed, and here we are going to say pending task like this. And then here we're going to pass here pending task underscore, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the pending class. I'm going to get into first within the now started, and then I'm going to copy this class right here. I'm gonna copy this class right here, or even I can get into immediately within the pending column and add right here a class. I'm gonna say pending task and underscore, and then I'm passing the task ID task, and then I'm gonna select from the underscore all the way to the car class, and then we're gonna add here vbound. You're gonna see we are going to select the car right here, and I'm gonna get into the drag task.ts file, and then you're gonna see this is the task that we just selected, and then we are going to pass it. You can see we got pending column. Right now we're gonna select right here completed. We're gonna say here it's going to be completed column. I'm gonna go ahead within the completed column right here, guys. I'm gonna copy this completed task, and then I'm gonna get into again within the drag task.ts, and then here we're gonna pass here completed task, and I'm going to modify other things. We're gonna pass here completed column, and right here you're going to see right now, you can see we got right here, we got the now started task. On drop event, we are going to pass pending task from pending to completed, and here I'm gonna pass it right here, and then I'm gonna go within the Kaban board view file, and then we're gonna call this event from pending to completed. I'm gonna go within the Kaban board view, and then we are going to extract this function, and we're gonna pass it to the pending column right here. We're going to pass here, and then I'm gonna get into the browser and refresh again, and then we're gonna try to see if it is going to work. Right now you can see we got a task right here, create the URL. I'm gonna try to move it from pending to completed. I'm gonna do this, and then you can see it works, guys. Alright guys, now we need to move a task from completed to pending because we already finished these two points. Now started to pending, pending to completed. And then we're gonna interact with the API. You can see we can move a task from now started to pending, from pending to completed. Now we need to move a task from completed to pending. We need to do this. We need to move from completed to pending. And then guys, I'm gonna go ahead again and get into, first of all, I'm gonna get into the drag task.ts file, and then I'm gonna copy all of that, and I'm gonna duplicate that, yeah, like this. And then I'm going to change the name of the function. I'm gonna say right here, this time is going to be completed. I'm gonna pass here completed to pending. Now, and then we're gonna pass it task ID, and then we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get into the completed column. Right here you can see we got these components, we got completed column. I'm gonna get in, and here guys, I'm gonna define an event. We're gonna pass it right here. I'm gonna get into the now started, and then I'm gonna copy this code and get into the completed, and then I'm going to modify this one here. And then we are going to call this function on drag events from completed to pending. And then right here, we're going to pass to our div, we're going to pass it this drag events, and then we're going to emit this function from completed to pending. We're going to pass the task.id. But also guys, right here, I'm going to add another class. I'm going to say completed task, like this underscore, and then we're gonna pass here the task.id, and then I'm gonna select from the underscore all the way to the class like this, and then I'm gonna add vbounds, yeah, like this, and then I'm gonna get into the drag task.ts file, and here guys, what I'm going to do, you can see right here, we need to change from to completed task like this. And then we're gonna say here the name, it is going to be completed task. Here we're gonna move a completed task from pending column. We're gonna pass it pending, and then I'm gonna move up here and copy the class of pending column is pending task column. I'm gonna pass it right here. I'm gonna pass it right here pending. I'm gonna pass here pending task, and then guys, we are going to pass here the pending column. And here pending column, I'm gonna replace all of that. After that, we're going to pass the completed task. I'm gonna pass here completed, like this completed task. I'm gonna try to check if it doesn't have any issue within the completed column the view. You can see right here, we should pass completed task like this. And then I'm gonna get into the drag task.ts, and here I'm gonna add an underscore there, completed task, and then we're gonna pass it right here. We're gonna pass the completed task to the pending column. I'm gonna pass it there, and then we're going to return from completed to pending. I'm gonna pass it to the return statement, and then I'm gonna get into the drag within the Kaban board view file, and then we're gonna extract this function from the use drag task function. Yeah, and then we're going to pass it to our component completed column, and then I'm gonna pass it like this, and there we go. And then I'm gonna get into the browser and then I'm gonna refresh a bit. And then we are going to try to move a task from completed to pending. You can see fix the bug. I'm gonna try to move it. You can see, yeah, it is working pretty well, guys. Now, the next thing we need to do now, we're gonna interact with our API. Alright guys, yes, we are done with this drag and drop operation, like now started to pending, pending to completed, completed to pending. Now we're gonna get started interacting with our API. And here guys, if you take a look within our API.php file, on this section, task controller, we already finished interacting with this endpoint, create task. Now we're gonna continue interacting with other endpoints that you can see over here. These endpoints that I'm selecting, we're gonna get started with now started to pending. I'm gonna get into the task controller. Guys, you can see right here, we got a query that allows to change a task from now started to pending. But also, I'm gonna add something special, guys. We're gonna add also the task progress. You can see right here, within the task progress table, we got a progress table where we're gonna display the percentage of a given task. We're gonna try to change this. Let me explain you a little bit. Let's say we got a project. Let's say we got a project X. It has 5 tasks like this, and we just completed 4 tasks. If we try to calculate the results in percent, we're gonna get 80%. We're gonna say 80%, we're gonna say done task, and we're gonna say 20% and done task like this. That's what we are going to do right now. We are going to track all tasks which are pending and all tasks which are completed, and then we are going to try to calculate the percent. That's what we are going to do. And then guys, I'm gonna get into the task.php file, guys, and right here you're gonna see right here we have a function. I just press on some function. You can see we got public static function count completed task. This function allows to count completed tasks of a given project. We got another function, count project task. This function allows to count tasks that a given project has. It returns the total number of tasks that a given project has. You can see we got another function, handle project progress. This function allows to change the progress of a given project. You can see within the task progress, we can change right here the progress of a given task. And right now the progress is 0. Now this function that we have within the task model allows to change the progress of a given task. And then here we're gonna call first, we're gonna do this. We're gonna call first the count project task. We're gonna pass it the task model, and then we're gonna call this function. And also we are going to call another function, another static function. You can see we got count completed task. We have this function within the task model. And then here we are going to count. Right now we got the total task of a given project. We got total tasks which are completed. And then here we are going to calculate the percent. We're gonna do total completed task times 100 divided by total task. And then we're gonna get the percent. Now here we got another function, a round number. This function allows to round a number. And then here I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna add here public static function, and then we are going to call it via the task model. Yeah, like this, task around number. And then here you can see we got another model, task progress. We need to import it, and I'm gonna go up here and say use app for backslash. I'm gonna cap here. I'm gonna use the backslash, and then I'm pass here the tab. I'm gonna get into the models folder, and then I'm pass here the task progress like this, and then we're gonna use it. Yeah, and then here you can see we are going to update now the progress of a given task. You can see task progress, and then we're gonna do task progress web project ID, and then we are going to change the progress of a given task, and then we're gonna return the progress. Yeah, like the percent. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get into the task controller, and then I'm gonna call this function handle project progress. I'm gonna go within the task controller, and right here we are going to interact with this function right now, tasks to now started to pending. And then here I'm gonna do task, and then I'm gonna call handle project progress, and then we are going to pass here the project.id like this, and then we are going to change the task progress. Now here, this is the endpoint. I'm gonna copy this first. Task now started to pending. We're gonna get started interacting with this endpoint. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the drag task, the TS file, and right here I have a function. Let me copy this function right here. We're gonna use this function in order to change the status of a given task. And here, guys, you can see change task status. We're gonna call this function. It takes an input of task ID and project ID, and then here I'm gonna pass it this endpoint. You can see right here, the change task status takes the task ID, project ID, and the endpoint. And then here, guys, we are going to send the task ID and the project ID, and then we're gonna display the message. Now here, guys, you can see we got a function right here from now started to pending. Now we're gonna say this function is going to be an asynchronous function, and then here, guys, when we're gonna move a task from now started to pending, we're gonna call this function. And right here, I'm gonna pass it right here. I'm gonna say change task status, and then you can see it is a promise. It returns a promise. It takes the task ID. We're gonna pass it the task ID. Yeah, it takes the project ID and then the endpoint project ID. But also we need to pass it the endpoint. It is a string. This is the endpoint. And then you can see right here to our from now started to pending function, we doesn't pass here the project ID. I'm gonna add it. Project ID, and then it is going to be a type of number. And then I'm not getting to the within a file, within a component called now started column. And right here you can see we from now started to pending function just pass it the task ID. I'm not saying we're gonna pass it to the project ID. I'm gonna add here project ID type of number, and then here I'm going to pass here, I'm gonna do project data, that ID. I'm gonna pass it the ID of the project like this. Yeah, we just get access to the project ID. And then, guys, I'm gonna get into again within the drag task, the TS file. And then, guys, once I just run the change task status by hitting the endpoint task / now started to pending, I would like to call another special function that we got within the Kaban board Vue file. You can see the function name is get project details that we got within the unmounted function. And this function, what it does, it allows to populate our Kaban board with data by sending the slag of a given project, and then we're gonna get all details of a single project. That's what this function does. And what I'm going to do, guys, I'm gonna call this function under the change task status and right here. And then what I'm going to do, guys, I'm gonna get into first within the Kaban board Vue file. You can see we just store the slag within the query. And here I'm gonna try to change the query to slag. And then here to make things clear, and I'm gonna pass here the slag. And what I'm going to do, guys, I'm gonna pass the get project detail function to the use drag task. I'm gonna pass it right here. And then we're gonna pass it a slag, because we're gonna use the slag in order to get all details of a single project. Now I'm gonna get into the drag task, the TS. You can see we have the use drag task. We're gonna pass it to two parameters. The first parameter, it is going to be the function, and the function that we need to call takes a slag. It is type of string, and it returns a promise, a void type. And then we're gonna pass it the second parameter. It is going to be a slag type of string, and then we're gonna call our function under the change task status function. We're gonna pass it right here, and then we're gonna pass it the slag. And then if you get into the Kaban board Vue, you're gonna see right here the error disappear. Now, the second thing to do, the next thing to do, you can see we got the drop events. And here we are going to pass our function within the drop event. I'm gonna pass it right here. And let me first show you something. I'm gonna do console.log make ATP rec like this. And then I'm gonna get into the browser and refresh. And then I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna get into the console, and then we're gonna see something, guys. I'm gonna move within the console tab. And then, guys, I'm gonna clear out the console. You're gonna see right here within the now started column, we got two tasks. I'm gonna try to move a given task, a single task, from now started to pending. Yeah, you can see within the console we got make ATP rec. We just fired 66 ATP requests to the server. We are bombarding our server with so many requests. But how can we avoid that? And I got a function. I'm gonna copy it within my subline text, and then I'm gonna pass it right here, and then I'm gonna explain you how it really works. Here you can see we got an if statement, and here we just check if within the pending column div we have this attribute that a listener is added. If it doesn't have this attribute, we're gonna add it, and then we are going to make an ATP request after 2 milliseconds. And what is the benefit of this if statement? The benefit of this if statement, it allows to send only a single ATP request to the server, because the drop event, the drop operation, sends multiple actions. That's why I'm using this if statement. I'm trying to check if we got the data listeners added attribute to the div pending column. If it doesn't have it, we're gonna add it, and then we're gonna make an ATP call, and after that we're gonna remove it again in order to make another drag and drop operation. That is the benefit of this if statement. Now let me try to add here the task ID, and I'm gonna pass another task ID within the if statement. I'm gonna say one time. I'm gonna pass here one time like this, and then we're gonna check it within the browser. Here I'm gonna refresh, and then you're gonna see the benefit, the why of using the if statement. You're gonna see, you can see right here we got two tasks which are within the now started column. I'm gonna try to move the first one. Yeah, you're gonna see within the console. Right here you can see make ATP rec 6. We just display 6. This console right here, this console is out of the if statement. We just display make ATP rec. This is one time, and then we display another console, another condition right here. We just display this line one time within the console, and again we display again the first line right here. You can see 84 make ATP request. This means that they display 84 times. Yeah, and here out of these if statements we are making many requests. The drag operation, I'm gonna pass here and I say attention drop event fires many actions within console. And then guys, if it doesn't pass your ATP call within this if statement, you're going to bombarding your server with so many requests. That is the importance of this if statement. You can see right here we are sending many requests right here, many action. We are sending many action. I'm gonna say, and then here I'm going to make an ATP call. Right here first, guys, we are going to remove this, and then here I'm gonna use the task store. You can see within the Kaban boards folder we got another folder, this store, the Premier store. And here I'm gonna add right here, I'm gonna pass here the ID of the current task that we need to change the state. And then I'm gonna say current task ID. I'm gonna assign it to 0, and then I'm gonna cast it to a number. And then I'm gonna get into the drag task.ts file, and here I'm going to import task store, And then here, guys, we are going to pass here the current task ID like this, but also the project ID. And then we're going to hit the endpoint that started to pending. And here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass this code, the TaskStatus right here, and then I'm going to assign it the current task ID that we want to move. Now, let me get into the browser again, and then you're going to see that we are going to move a task from started to pending. And right here, you can see that I'm using primers.org. This allows to run multiple primers at the same time in parallel. And here, guys, I'm going to remove first that and get into the browser and try to move a task from started to pending and see what we get. And then I'm going to refresh again. I'm going to try to move, I can move this right here. And then you can see we are getting message, task moved to pending. You can see in our progress bar, it is updated automatically from now started to pending. I'm going to try to move implement cache using Redis. I'm going to try to move it to pending, and then you're going to see. Yeah, you can see right now, it is going task move to pending. And here, I'm going to copy this if statement. I'm going to copy this if statement and get into, I'm going to try to move to our second function from pending to completed. And right here, I'm going to pass first this function within the drop section. Yeah, to this section. And then here, I'm going to modify the div. The div right here is completed column. I'm going to try to move a task from pending to completed. And then I'm going to pass it right here. But also, we're going to try to pass to our function from pending to completed. We're going to pass it the project ID. And then we're going to say it's going to be a number, and we're going to move within these components, pending column, right here, pending column, and then we're going to pass it to the project, the data, like this, the ID, like this, guys. And also right here, we need to specify that we need to pass the project ID like this. And then here, the error, it is going to disappear. Now we're going to go within our API.php file. We're going to try to copy this endpoint, pending to completed. And again, if we get into the task controller, you're going to see we're going to hit this method, task to pending to completed. And you can see that we just call our handle project progress function that we have put in the task model. And I'm going to get into again within the browser, and I'm going to refresh again. And then I'm going to try to move a task from pending to completed. And then you're going to see like this. Yeah, task move to pending, but it doesn't get anything. You can see task move to pending. We have to change the endpoint, guys. You can see this is the endpoint. I'm going to copy it. You can see this is the function from pending to completed, and then we're going to pass here the endpoint is pending to completed. This is the endpoint that we need to hit. And then I'm going to get into again within the browser and refresh. And then I'm going to try to move this task from pending to completed. Yeah, create the UI. And then you're going to see, and the progress bar is updated automatically. I'm trying to move another task, implement cache using Redis. Yeah, like this, and the progress bar is updated automatically. I'm going to try to move this again. Yeah, like this. It is working pretty well, guys. Now, what I'm going to do is to, right here, you can see we got another function from completed to pending. We're going to try to pass here first the project's ID. I'm going to say number. And I'm going to copy this code, this if statement. I'm going to copy all of that, and I'm going to pass it within the drop event. I'm going to pass it right here, and then I'm going to try to change the div and say pending column like this. But also we are going to change the endpoints. The endpoint, I'm going to get into the API.php, and then I'm going to copy this endpoint completed to pending, and then we're going to add another method, task to completed to pending. I'm going to try to pass first the endpoints to our function right here. I'm going to pass here the endpoint, And then here we need to pass here to the project ID. Yeah, here we got the project ID, and we are getting right here an error. Did you mean projects like this? Project ID like this, guys. And then you can see this is the endpoint completed to pending. I'm not getting to the task controller in order to check. Right here you can see I'm gonna look for this method completed to pending. Let me copy the name. I'm gonna copy this and get into the task controller again and try to look for this function. You can see right here we have to call also the handle project progress function. We need to pass it right here in order to update the progress bar. I'm gonna pass it right here too, and then we're gonna go back within the drag.task.ts file, and we're gonna get into the Kaban board folder, and we are going to look for another component completed column. And right here we are going to pass, right here you can see just emitted this function from completed to pending. I'm gonna pass here to the project ID data.id like this in order to retrieve the project ID. And then here I'm gonna pass here to the project ID and say it is type of number. And then I'm getting to the browser and refresh a bit, guys. And then you can see all our tasks are in completed column. And again, I'm gonna try to move given this task right here from completed to pending. Let's try to see. Yeah, everything is working, guys. I'm gonna move again this one, and then you can see we got 50%. And then here I'm gonna try to move within the projects menu, and then here you can see we got project management application. I'm gonna pin it on dashboard and see what we get. Yeah, you can see right now we got 2 tasks which are completed and 2 tasks which are pending. But also for the progress, we got 50%. Yeah, everything is working. Now we're gonna try to add real time. Right here you can see we haven't yet add real time. Now we're gonna integrate Laravel Echo in order to update our charts automatically in real time. That's what we are going to do right now. Alright guys, now let's add real time to our charts. We're gonna get started with the task progress charts, and then we're gonna move to the task charts. And here guys, the first thing we have to do, we have to create an event that's going to be called when we just move a task from now started to pending. Once we move a task from pending to completed, we're gonna update our chart in real time. That's what we are going to do right now. And we need first to get into our command prompt, and then we're gonna create an event. We're gonna do PHP artisan make like this, artisan make event, and then we're gonna create the name of the event. It's going to be track project progress like this, and then we're gonna type enter. Once done, we're gonna run again our server, and then we're gonna go within our text editor. You can see right now we got another event, track project's progress. And first of all, we are going to implement the interface should broadcast. I'm gonna pass here implement and then should broadcast. And we're gonna pass the data to a variable, to our constructor. We're gonna create a public variable. We're gonna say project progress like this, project progress, and then we are going to initialize it. We're gonna copy it, and after that guys, we are going to create right here a public channel. We're gonna pass here only the channel name like we did within the new project created a PHP file. You can see right here we just pass here a channel. It is public, and here the name of the channel, it is going to be public too. And then here I'm gonna pass here the name project progress, and then here we're gonna pass here this name. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get into the task model, and you can see we got handle project progress function. We are going to call this event once we just change the progress of a given project. Right here I'm gonna import first this event. I'm gonna say use, and then we're going to get into the event folder. I'm gonna copy that and pass it right here, and I'm gonna pass here events, yeah, like this. and then we are going to call this function. I'm gonna pass it within the handle project progress right here. I'm gonna pass here, I'm gonna say track project progress, and then we're gonna pass here dispatch, and then we're going to pass it the progress. Yeah, like this of a given project. Now let's get into the getChartData.ts file, and here guys you can see we got a function use getChartData, and right here under the chartData.value here we are going to call our function that is going to update our chart in real time. And I'm gonna get into the count project.ts. I'm gonna copy this code and move it within the getChartData right here. We are going to call our update function right here. And if you take a look to the chart data type, you're gonna see right here it has two properties. The task, it is an array, but also the progress. We are going to update the progress. But first of all, we're going to pass it the events. The name of the event is track projects progress. I'm going to copy it and get into the getChartData, and we're going to pass here our event, but also the name of the channel that we want to listen to. I'm going to get into again the track projects progress, and I'm going to copy the name of the channel is project progress. And I'm gonna go within the getChartData again, and I'm gonna pass here the name of the channel. Now I'm going to open another window. Right now we are going to console what we get. Now I'm gonna open another window. Right here I'm gonna click on new incognito window, and then here guys I'm going to log in another user. I'm gonna pass here app login. And then I'm gonna pass here the name of the user ben11@gmail.com, and also I'm gonna pass the password, and I'm gonna click on login, and I'm going to try to change the status of given task in order to see what we are going to get within the console. I'm gonna try to move to the project to the Kaban board and see what we get. Right now I'm not getting to the console in another window like this, and then here we are going to see what we get when we are going to try to move a task from not started to pending. Yeah, right now we are getting undefined. Right here you can see cannot read properties of undefined, and we are going to fix that error. First of all, I'm gonna clear out the console, and then here I'm gonna get into another window, and right here you can see this is our Kaban board. I'm going to try to move a task from completed to pending and see what we get within the console. I'm gonna try to move it, and then you're gonna see task move to pending, and also we got data within the console within another window, project progress 50%. And then I'm gonna copy this and get into my text editor again. And right now I'm going to do this. I'm going to do, you can see right here, we got a variable chart data. We are going to do this chart data, that progress. We're going to pass here first that value, that progress is equal to this value, project progress. We're going to pass it right here. We're going to say it is type of number. Yeah, like this. And also you can see right here we're gonna remove these objects like this. Yeah, like this guys, and then we're going to update our charts in real time. Now let's try it again. I'm gonna go again within the browser. I'm gonna open another window. I'm gonna open this one, and I'm gonna close the console, and then I'm gonna get into the incognito window, and right here you can see we got the project management application. Now the progress is 50%, and I'm gonna try to move a task from pending to completed, and then you're gonna see what we're gonna get. And then again, you're gonna see right now our chart is not updated in real time. It doesn't change at all. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna try to do this. First of all, I'm going to initialize. I'm gonna pass it the value of 0. First of all, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna pass it the value of 0. We're gonna initialize it by 0, and then I'm getting to the dashboard page.view file. You're gonna see right here we got the apex radio bar. we pass here a condition. If the chart data.progress is greater than 0, we are going to render this component. Else, we are going to render it too. Now, let's try to see what we get. And right here you can see, guys, we got 50% for this project. The progress is 50%. Now I'm going to try to move from pending to completed. And then I'm going to drag there. We got 0 right here. Yeah, right now is 75%. It is working pretty well. I'm going to try again to move, create the menu to see what we get. Completed. And again, we got right here 100%. Everything is working as expected. Yeah, we just finished here. Now we need to add real time to our second chart. Alright guys, now let's add real time to our first chart right here, to our donor chart, because we already finished with task progress. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into the command prompt, and we're gonna first create an event. And the name of the event that we are going to create is going to be track completed and pending task. And I'm gonna type php artisan make, type here make event, and then when I say track completed and pending task, this is the name of the event. And then you're gonna run our saver. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into the project controller, guys. You're gonna see we got a function, get project chart data. This function allows to provide our charts with data. You can see we just return an array of tasks which are in pending and completed, but also we just return the project progress. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, with this function, I'm going to refactor it because it is a piece of code that we're gonna use in order to provide our charts real-time data. I'm gonna pass it right here first, and then you can see that this code right here, this piece of code, it allows to track completed and pending task, and then we just pass it within an array. And I'm going to refactor. I'm gonna create a specific function for that. I'm gonna get into the task model, and right here I'm gonna create a static function, public static, and then I'm gonna say function. I'm gonna pass here and I'm say count. Let me zoom a little bit, guys. I'm gonna say count completed and pending task like this, and then I'm going to pass in the code, and then I'm going to return an array which contains pending task, total number of pending tasks, and total number of completed tasks like this. And then I'm going to return that, yeah, like this, completed. Yeah, and then I'm gonna go ahead I'm gonna pass it first the project ID, and then I'm gonna copy it and go ahead within the project controller, and right here I'm going to pass here, I'm gonna say task array, and then I'm going to return it again. I'm gonna pass it the task model in order to get access to the function, and then I'll pass it the project ID, and right here we're going to return an array which contains pending and completed task. I'm gonna pass it right here, and then guys, I'm gonna move again within the task model. Right here you can see this function. We are going to use it in order to provide our chart real-time data. And here I'm going to call this function within the handle project progress function. Yeah, you can see right here you got handle project progress, and here we just call another event, track project progress. We are going to call our track completed and pending events right here under this event. And then first of all, I'm going to call this function. I'm gonna say task. It's going to be a task array, and then I'm gonna pass here first the model, the name of the model, task, and then it returns an array of tasks. Now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go first within the track completed and pending task, and here I'm gonna pass you first implement should broadcast, and then we are going to pass here a constructor. We're gonna say public task. We're gonna pass it is going to be an array, an empty array, and then we are going to initialize it. I'm gonna pass here this, And then we are going to create the channel. We are going to create a public channel. And then we're going to pass here the name is going to be, we're going to say track completed and pending task. I'm going to add first, I'm going to say pending and completed task. This is the name of the channel. And then I'm going to go ahead and import this function within the task model. And right here, I'm going to pass it here. We are going to call it, but also we are going to call this event track project progress. We're going to pass here dispatch, and then we're going to pass it task like this. And then I'm going to import it right here. And here, I'm going to pass it like this. And then guys, I'm going to get into the get chart data, and right here I'm going to duplicate this object right here. I'm going to do this. First of all, I'm going to pass the name of the event that we want to listen to when it is going to occur. We're going to pass track completed and pending task events, but also we need also to pass here the channel. If we get into the track completed and pending task events, you're going to see this is the channel, but the name of the channel is long. I'm going to pass here event task like this. And then I'm going to get into the get chart data.ts file. And right here, I'm going to pass this. And here right now, I'm going to pass here any and try to console what we're going to get. Let me see first what we're going to get within the console. And then I'm going to change the type. Right now, I'm going to pass here any. And then I'm going to open, I'm going to refresh my window and get into the incognito window. And here too, guys, you're going to see right here, we got, let me show you, we got right here, you can see, we got one task which is pending. And then I'm going to try to move a task from completed to pending and see what we get in the console. I'm going to move this console like this, and then let's try to check. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to move this. Yeah. Let's see what we get. Yeah, we are getting a task array. And then I'm going to copy this and get into the get chart data right here. We are going to type this. We're going to say it is an array of number, pass here number, and then I'm going to copy this. And here I'm going to pass it here. I'm going to say right here, we're going to pass here the task, and then we're going to pass here that task like this. Now guys, in order to update chart data, you can see if we get into the browser, you can see right now we got our chart is populated with data. We are going to reset it first, and then we are going to pass it new data, new fresh data. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to say right here, I'm going to pass to our task property. I'm going to pass it first and define. I'm going to say is any. And then here, they are going to pass to this task array, to this task property, and define. If we get into the dashboard page that view, you're going to see right here, Apex donor charts. We are checking if the chart data, that task, it is not undefined. If the task array is undefined, we are not going to render this chart here. We are not going to render this block. Else, we are going to render this block with an array of 2 elements which has 0, 0. And here too, you can see on our Apex radio bar, we are checking if the chart data that progress is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, we are going to take fresh data that came from the server. Else, we are going to render 0. This is how it works. And I'm gonna go back within the get chart data, guys. We are going to pass it to here. We're gonna pass it to first the value of 0 in order to initialize it, and then we are going to pass it new fresh data. And here, guys, let's try to check within the browser. I'm gonna get into the browser again, guys, and then you can see right now I'm gonna refresh the browser, and here I'm going to refresh to the browser. And then we are going to try to move a task from pending to completed and try to see what we're gonna get. Now here you're gonna see I'm trying to move this task pending to completed, and then you're gonna see, yeah, let us move it. We're gonna pass it there, and then here let's see, yeah, it changed. Yeah, you can see change automatically. Right now we got one task we got one task which is pending and 3 completed, but for the task progress is 75%. And if I try to move the latest task from pending to completed, you're gonna see what we're gonna get. I'm gonna try to move it there, and then let me pass it there, and then you can see, let's try to see, yeah, it changed automatically in real time, guys. Right now we got 5 tasks which are completed, and the task progress is 100%, and it is working pretty well. Now guys, we need to finish our projects, and what I'm going to do is to get into the Kaban board. You can see right now the project management application. You can see the completion is 100 and it is working pretty well. And I'm going to try to move to the Kaban board of these projects and see details of these projects. Now you can see this. You can see that right now we can move a task from completed to pending. Now, what I'm going to do is to create a new task. I'm going to say make API spec. This is a new task. And then I'm trying to select a given member and click add task. Yeah, you can see we just created a task. But this task, it is not appeared within the not started column. And what we are going to do here, if we get into the AddTaskModal, you're going to see right here that when we just finish creating a task, we doesn't call this getProjectDetail function. You can see we got a function getProjectDetails. And what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to pass this function to our add task. We are going to emit it when we just created a task. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this function and get into the AddTaskModal. And right here, I'm going to pass it here. I'm going to say we are going to define a new event, and here our getProjectDetail function takes a slug. I'm gonna pass here slug, and then here, guys, once we just pass it the slug, we are going to do this. We're gonna rename it refresh Kaban board. Yeah, like this. This is going to be the name of the function. It is going to return a promise of void type. I pass here void like this, and then once we just created a task, we are going to call it, and then I'm gonna pass it right here. I'm gonna say emit. We're going to emit this function refresh Kaban board, and I'm gonna move within the Kaban board view, and right here we're going to create a function here. Let me pass here. It is going to be an asynchronous function, function. I'm gonna pass here refresh Kaban board, and here I'm going to call this function getProjectDetail, and then I'm going to bound this function to our AddTaskModal. I'm gonna pass it right here, and then when we just created a task, we are going to emit it. Now I'm gonna move again within the browser and see what we're gonna get. Right now I'm gonna refresh our Kaban board and try to create another task. Right here you can see we got a task make API spec. I'm trying to create another task, and here the second task, I'm gonna say make API documentation. I'm gonna assign it to this task one member. I'm gonna select John, and then I'm gonna click add, and let's see what we get. And again, you can see we just created a task, and you can see right now we just displayed the task right here, make API specification. But also we can move this task from pending. You can move it right there, and then you can see the progress bar change automatically, is updated automatically. And that's all, guys. Now you can see if I get into the API.php file, let me get in API.php file. Let me show you. You can see that we just work on these endpoints. Here we just created a task. We just move a task from not started to pending to completed to pending. Yeah, this is the endpoints that you're going to work on, guys. This I'm gonna pass here. I'm gonna say homework. Yeah, you're gonna do this yourself, guys. In order to train you, you're gonna do this. You're going to try to do this. Yeah, because I think you just learned a lot. You're going to try to do this yourself, guys. And also you're going to try to move a task from completed to not started right here, guys. You're going to train yourself, but also you can move a task from pending to not started. You're gonna do this. Yeah, you're gonna learn how to do it. And that's all guys for this video. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one.